Welcome back, 13 Card Subject Exchange, the show that is wondering what's going to happen with the weather because it's been one of those days.
Yeah, today has been a very rainy one, but you know what? We can always use it around here.
Well, but Jesse, see what people don't understand about what's currently going on outside. I drove from my house to your house. Mm-hmm. It is 30 degrees colder here. The elevation doesn't change much from my house to yours. That's what's weird about it. But you are farther from the lake, so that has a lot to do with it.
I'm actually closer to the river, though.
That is true.
So I'm actually much closer to the Mississippi.
For those of you wondering, LeRoy's still doing the dad thing for a couple of weeks. He'll pop in maybe, or if he doesn't, hey, he's just being a dad.
Right.
But we have to recap as much as we can of a huge weekend of wrestling.
Very big weekend. Four major shows.
Yeah.
And then, what a weekend.
We were absolutely packed.
To be honest, I had forgotten this weekend was so packed until LeRoy actually brought it up last week, and I was like, "Oh wow, yeah."
And so what I think we're gonna do here, Jesse, is we're gonna start off with my biggest takeaway from Slammiversary, which is Jesse. I don't know why he wasn't the first class. I don't know what the politics were to lead to this taking forever, but They're doing it finally, but I still think TNA should get a little bit of flack for not putting Amazing Red in the Hall of Fame the first time around.
I get it.
Yep.
Different ownership.
Yep.
At least you're at the right spot.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of American football, the NFL.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're going to do stuff where you're like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? And then they finally do the right thing. You're like, well, at least we finally got here. After everyone's been yelling at you about it for like 7 years, we're finally here.
Sounds like LeRoy might actually be here.
Huh? Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
That hurts your neighbors.
It could be.
Yeah. But anyway, no. So but Jesse, obviously, if we have to recap everything about Amazing Red, who's been watching this show forever? That you're talking about.
The show itself was pretty good.
Slammiversary was a good show.
Now. Like I said, we have been talking about the rumors about Mike Santana for a minute.
Yeah. Those kind of got fueled with the ending.
With the ending, you got some fuel to that fire. Though, regardless, even if it's now or maybe it's September, Dolph Ziggler as a champion there is actually going to be really fun. This is an established legend within the business, doing some great work. Though sometimes I forget his brother is standing right there. Great job, Ryan, of what you've done with your career.
Yeah.
But I thought that stuff was great. The knockout announcement, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It's so weird with the guy who's currently kind of ownership and in charge of TNA.
Yeah.
Where they are, because there's a lot of cool stuff happening.
Yeah.
And then there's also some stuff on the business side you're like, so you're going to lose a major name for that reason, bro?
Yeah.
But the show itself I thought was a lot of fun.
But Jesse, what I think is kind of interesting to talk about that, though, is it's showing you that WWE is not the only place where we've got a weird power structure stuff going on and, like, the top is getting in the way.
I was going to say the WWE power structure thing is just...
Which is hilarious because Triple H... Getting a lot of praise, by the way, from Paul Heyman on Paul Heyman's appearance on the Chris Van Vliet show. Paul Heyman said the best guy in the world right now to do this job is Triple H, and anyone that thinks otherwise
to be honest, he might be the only one.
Well, but Jesse,
I don't know if a lot of people can handle all the stuff ahead of them.
Well, Jesse, but and that's the other thing. Undertaker's doing really well in AAA. But would he be doing the same amount of work if he had to deal with sponsors, ad revenue shares, investors, the top brass, the talent, the produce? Like Triple H balances so many things in a week.
A lot.
I mean, Jesse, think about this. Triple H is directly talking to Netflix on the weekly.
Right.
He has to be aware of streaming numbers. Yeah. He has to be aware of revenue. He has to be aware of talent, their contract. Like, the guy does way more than people think.
Like I tell people, like, it's a weird place for it's a weird place for a content overseer to be.
Yeah.
In the sense of we know he's capable of booking the shit out of that main roster. We've seen it.
You've said it on the show 1,000 times. You don't have a 2-year run like that,
right,
and then just stop knowing how to do this.
Right. And yet now you have new bosses, different from the old bosses.
And yet they're acting kind of the same way.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
Which is weird because you thought that they would have watched what Vince did and be like, why would we do that? Jesse, obviously no information because we can't give this stuff away, but you and I were just having a conversation off mic here about how the amount of missed opportunities from wanting to be involved with stuff that it's not that you can't, it's that you don't need to be involved in it.
Right.
There's no reason to do
the
things. Like, I don't understand how, as an agent of so many huge people, Ari Emanuel just looks at there and his eyes go wide at the celebrities that are on the, that are wrestling fans. I'm like, bro, they're not even the top notch of Hollywood. Like, I mean, if you want to go hobnodge with, Scarlett Johansson, her husband, and Dwayne and all this stuff, that's fine. But like, leave the wrestling alone. It's not going to attract the A-listers.
And we've talked about this when it comes to them.
Yeah.
They're so obsessed with celebrity culture and for some reason trying to be on the right side of the political scale at all times that they have almost diluted what was a very hot product.
And by the way, Jesse, you mentioned it.
That was making hand over fist money.
Yeah. Now, Jesse, you mentioned it. I don't know if it was last week or a couple weeks ago. Why is Lil Yachty not part of this discussion? Because he's not doing any.
It's almost too perfect as
a celebrity manager.
As a celebrity manager, because he's doing everything you're supposed to do. So like, what else is one? But they wanted to have your, he just got divorced from his wife.
Jelly
Roll, which he did fine.
Yeah.
Like I tell people,
he was also smart enough to realize maybe he and Pat McAfee needed to back off a little bit,
right? And
had that conversation of like, yeah, they don't want us here. Maybe we should get out.
It's just odd. It's just very odd, and I'm not sure. Continue.
Yeah. Anyway, so we'll might as well just get right into Jesse. Night of Champions was a highly criticized preview, obviously because of the fact that once again it's a Saudi show. How many years in, and it's like you all watched. You all watched, man.
Point, listen. It's not what it was, which was it really started as a propaganda show, and it was fucking awful.
Yeah.
Bringing in guys like Ric Flair who really couldn't wrestle anymore, and it was just like, this show's a fucking wreck, and it's terrible.
The Saudi prince literally going on record saying, I would like Andre the Giant, and it's like, dude's been dead for like
20-some years, 30-some.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Well, at that time, 20-something years.
I know your people don't realize that the Earth has gone past the 1980s, but do you not know the world has gone past the 1980s?
Guys, he's got a big-ass cemetery in France.
Yeah.
How did you not know about this?
Yeah. But now, Jesse, as we've chronicled on the show, it's turned into this thing that if you are willing to watch it, not only has WWE made it a part of the rotation so the stories are continual,
right.
But Jesse, the crowd is obviously and it's interesting, Jesse. I thought about this watching Night of Champions, and I thought about this with the World Cup. Now, we all know my feelings about the sport of soccer.
Sure.
But Jesse, there's been a lot of posts that have really shown, and Saudi's a great example for wrestling.
Right.
You take away the leaders, the religion, the politics, the world bullshit. You know what's funny?
What's that?
The people tend to just be people, and they tend to be just fine with people being around.
They tend to just be fans.
Yeah.
Without the extra bullshit.
Yeah. You said it yourself, Jesse. Europe went back, and they're like, we need more than just salt and pepper. Did America blackify Europe again? Is this the new Black Plague, but with like seasoning? Is that what this is?
Europe is a weird place because it definitely has its own issues when it comes to racism and some other things going on there. But I do want to say this.
But from a food standpoint, everyone's like, why is everything so bland over here?
I do want to say this. Well, and then I think the World Cup has kind of shown that when people come to America, it's like, oh, there are some terrible things, but there are some not so terrible things. So, like, I guess it all works. But either way, it's fucking weird. It's confusing. They just have fun over there.
Yeah.
They have fun in Europe. They have fun in Saudi. And it gets to the point where I'm just like, WWE should do more world crowds.
Well,
it's just better.
And, Jesse, again, we don't want to get too far into this rabbit hole, but it's unfortunately the way that America has gone in the last 10 years.
Sure.
Is, Jesse, if you and I decide to go to a restaurant, just the two of us, unfortunately, you and I both know there's a certain group of friends that if they saw us go in there, they'd be like, well, why are you guys in there? And we're like, what are you talking about? So Jesse and I have a conservative look because Jesse and I just wanted some Chick-fil-A.
Oh, sure. We can use Chick-fil-A.
No, thank you. I went to Chick-fil-A because I wanted some chicken and some decent fries. I could care less about their politics.
I'll be honest, the fries ain't the best.
I'm not saying the fries are good, but I'm saying I just went in there for a chicken sandwich.
It's weird to go to a chicken place and be like, I prefer some fruit cups.
Fair enough.
But to me, I don't like their sides.
Yeah. But Jesse, it's like even like local restaurants.
Right.
If you and I went somewhere
Right.
to try the food, this and that, everyone brings it back to politics, and I'm sitting here saying, but they don't do it over there.
Right.
They don't do it as much over there.
Right.
Like you said, we have turned everything. Jesse, people literally pretended to stop watching the NFL because the NFL addressed politics. The NFL said, "Don't be racist," and a bunch of people said, "Oh, you're woke." I'm like, or you could just not be racist for the sake of like.
I remember it was so funny. It said, "Don't be racist." People were like, "They're woke and blah blah blah." I'm like, guys, the NFL is like 68% black. Why is this controversial?
I mean, Jesse. Jesse. We all know what the state of Alabama is unfortunately known for. But when Tuscaloosa was winning national championships, they didn't seem to mind there were a bunch of black kids being famous.
Listen, through the early ages of racism, they kind of dominated the football game. And then they started to see, the black colleges, and then they saw the northern colleges recruit the black players, and they went, well, sometimes you white guys might just not be good enough. We need some black players. And they kept winning, and people were like, well, I guess. So, once again, if they say don't be racist, and most of your league is black, what is so surprising to you about that?
What is hard to understand about a 65% African American league going, don't be mean or racist to African Americans? Like, that doesn't. Again, Jesse, sometimes
it's like, are you at home shouting the N-word to these players, not realizing that every time you're watching and the ads are getting to you and you're paying for all this, you hate them, but you're watching them play and sending them money anyway. What are you hateful of?
Before we get to the results, we have to address that too. Okay, can we just get over the fact that, guess what? ESPN paid a lot of money for these shows.
Yeah.
You're going to get an ad now and then. Get over yourselves.
Well, listen, when they initially took over,
it was bad for a couple of shows. I won't deny it.
When TKO initially happened and they started doing the ad thing, I'm like, this was actually the one thing I used to give Vince credit for was, hey, I don't want advertisers on my ring.
Yeah.
That was the one old school belief he still had, the ring should stay clean.
Yeah.
But I was just
then you were a New Japan fan, so you were kind of like, well.
Because I was a New Japan fan, I'm like, it can be so, it can take away the first time, But I'm like, the longer they're there, the less you care. You don't even notice it.
Yeah.
You really don't. Now, the one thing we still will constantly give them shit for is the Slim Jim table. Because I'm like, Slim Jim, really? But the more I thought about it, I'm like, it actually fits Slim Jim's advertising anyway.
Yeah, so.
But it's just, I'm like, the more you see
but
the
advertising,
advertising,
but the other thing to me, Jesse, is this. The era of people that are bitching the most, you grew up not understanding that in a 30-minute television show, you got 11 minutes of actual television.
So, like I tell people, if you go to streaming platforms like Netflix, Tubi, all that stuff,
yeah,
and you're able to watch your shows without ads, it's including those old like 30-minute comedies. Notice they're only 23 minutes. That's right. 7 minutes of your time was ads.
Well, actually, it's interesting when you go to Hulu and you watch, especially, it's very consistent for like A&E shows.
Yeah.
Because A&E promotes themselves a lot on their own channel. Jesse, it's 21 total minutes. You're not sitting down to a 30-minute.
Here was a fun one, because I tried to tell people about this years and years ago. I'm like, go find a TV movie that you used to like.
Yeah.
Watch it now without ads.
Mm-hmm.
And think to yourself, man, I remember when this was like 2 hours and 30 minutes. Why was it only an hour and 40 minutes? Because that was how long the movie actually was.
But Jesse, once again, let's drop a little knowledge of business. Networks, streaming platforms, whatever you want to say, the big bosses, they don't make money from the shows.
Right.
They make money from, hey, Jesse, I'm going to put SpongeBob on your Nickelodeon channel.
Right.
Hey, Jesse, I got a phone call from Pizza Hut. They want to offer you $10 million for a 15-second ad in the middle of SpongeBob. That's where the money comes from.
That was the money, man.
But that's how it's always been.
Actually, I still remember, and so that's why people were like, wait, why is SpongeBob like 2.5 episodes? I'm like, because in that 30 minutes,
they've sold you.
I'm like, in the past, if you go to the first season, it's only like 17 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was 13 minutes of ads, guys.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon was selling a lot of fucking toys.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone bought them because it was a kids' network.
But I'm like, the one episode technically wasn't that long.
I always laugh because there was the episode where SpongeBob gave away all his worldly possessions to live with the jellyfish.
Oh, yeah.
And he runs away. He's naked. Yada yada. And they're all standing there. And Sandy goes, "I give him a week." Spielberg goes, "I give him 11 minutes." That's how much longer was left in the episode.
Right.
So
Squidward was like, "I'll give him all the ad breaks."
That's basically what he was saying.
I'll give him all the ad breaks, man.
But that's the thing, Jesse. It's coming from an era that grew up with more commercials than show. And now, for some strange reason, you want to talk about Gen Z, Gen Alpha, oh, they're so spoiled. Look how spoiled you are. You sit there and you're like, I paid for ad-free. Let me explain how ad-free works because Allison and I have it on Hulu. If it is a Hulu-owned product,
right,
it is ad-free.
Right.
If it's live television,
you gotta get ads.
If it's a show that is not owned by Hulu, but Hulu is allowed to stream it, you're gonna get ads.
I still remember when Raw was on. Raw first got on Netflix, and they're like, "I pay for ad-free. Why is there ads?" I'm like, "Because it's a live show, and WWE is going to run ads because it's a live show."
Not only that, but Jesse, a live show with that many viewers, you don't think Netflix isn't going to throw in their own 2 cents?
I want to be clear. I'm like, I've seen the shows, like I've seen Raw live when they have it, quote unquote, in Kazakhstan, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, it is really weird to sit there for 3 minutes and it's just superstars twirling around. I'm like, that ad break thing is very fucking weird.
Well, not to mention the fact, Jesse, the guys over in fucking Jacksonville, why do they get a pass? Because they do picture-in-picture. The smallest picture on your screen is the show you're supposedly watching. You're still getting ads.
I'm like, listen.
And oh, by the way, oops, wait, pay-per-views are ad-free. How much did you pay for the pay-per-view?
Too much. That's the other thing about AEW. I'm like, here's the thing, man. Like, and luckily, yes, we got spoiled. I'm like, we really got spoiled was the network.
Yeah. Because
I'm like, he put in like one ad every now and then, and then like, the rest was the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, when you're paying the $50, $60, yeah, there better be no goddamn ads.
Yeah.
You damn right there better be no
But
damn
when
ads.
you were paying $9.99 and you got an ad now and then, oh no.
You weren't. You're like, well, okay, cool. I can go take a piss.
This cost me $10.
This cost me $10. So
A month, by the way. Not. By the way, that was also the genius of Vince. Why would he charge you per show if you were already subscribed to the network?
Well, I think that's what really made me mad about the whole not doing the network anymore. Because I was like, bro, I would have paid $20 for the network. Not only did I have the live shows, but I had that library.
Yeah.
I would have fucking easily paid for that. Or charge me an extra $10 for the shows. Here's your $120 for the year. Fine. Because it was just so easy to have the library, which is fucking massive.
Yep.
Have NXT. And then you get WrestleMania, SummerSlam, all that in one place.
Well, and that was the thing, Jesse. Until the network, you didn't realize how much Vince bought over the years.
Right.
It wasn't just WCW. It wasn't just ECW. He bought it all.
He based it. That's why people forget the whole insult that Paul threw out there was you bought up all your competition. He had all their shit.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, as I think even Jim has talked about, he's kind of a wrestling buff. Yes, he hates wrestling, but he does love the business of it.
Yeah.
So of course he bought it all.
Yeah.
Because it was another asset. Why let those companies just die when we can let people go rewatch all that stuff?
Yeah. And by the way, I did for hours on end.
So did I.
All right, let's get to Night of Champions live from Saudi Arabia.
So the first match was Obafemi versus
Jey Uso.
Listen, Jay's gotten better in the ring year to year, singles to singles.
I think Jey has gotten better when he's calmed down a little bit.
Right.
I feel like when he got the world title and he started to get sloppy, Jesse, I think he was trying to push too hard.
Well, the other thing with Jey Uso is he's incredibly popular when it comes to the in-the-house fan base.
Yes.
And so, that's why the hate online is so fucking weird.
Yeah.
But
because again, Jesse, why would they keep listening to you when every live audience they go to reacts to the guy, loves the guy, goes crazy for the guy?
Hearing the show, there's a storm going on.
There's a literal minor tsunami going on outside.
I hope if we lose power, trust me, for the audio edits, I think you guys will barely notice. We'll edit it together.
Yeah.
But yeah. Here's the thing. So the show itself, I found quite good. Or this match, I found quite good. He is very obnoxious, Jews. He's very fucking obnoxious. But there was no Brock.
Yep. The right winner came out of it.
So it was the right winner, especially with no Brock interference.
The one thing I don't understand about the IWC, and Jesse, this is legitimately, I cannot even come up with an analytical reason. If you get the right winner, who cares who he beats?
I mean, by the way, the Bloodline got the championship later on tonight anyway. But yeah. It's just, I thought this was pretty good. And with no Brock, Oba won. And consider me insanely fucking intrigued. Like I told people, there is a shot they actually end the Femi Brock feud at Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah. And then he goes on to face.
And then he'll go on to face who I believe will probably be Roman Reigns at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But I will say this. This match had me going, man, I am so intrigued to see what happens the next. I think Saturday Night Main Event is some point in July. I'll go look up the date.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. I'll let you finish on your thoughts, and then we'll go to the next match.
I mean, my thoughts are as follow. You got the right winner.
Right.
Who cares how we got there? Triple H didn't turn. It looks like August 2025. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway. But no. Sorry, there's so many different ads on my phone. It's ridiculous. But no. It's like, Jesse, my thoughts are, okay, quit bitching. You got what you wanted.
Right.
And by the way, can I just point it out? It's a good thing Obafemi never fell into the lap of Tony Khan because, Jesse, you go 20 minutes, and it's not that he would be exposed, but he'll get boring.
Yeah, this match was only about 8 minutes.
Didn't need to go any longer. Didn't need to go any longer.
Jay had a good game plan, but he wasn't
well,
going to clown out.
Well, Jesse, a lot of guys had a game plan for Brock Lesnar in the UFC, and then they realized he's a fucking shit brick house.
What was the old adage from good old Mike Tyson? Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the fucking mouth.
Well, Jesse, it's funny how many boxers sat back and said, "I've got a great defensive strategy," and then all of a sudden Mike hit him in the face, and it was like, "Oh, that hand is literally cement."
You get hit in the face by Mike, and then it's just like, "My plan's not working. Get me out." Next match is Io versus Liv Morgan. It is important, everyone, for those who didn't watch the show, for you to understand that Liv came out to interrupt Danhausen, demanded the money for the Judgment Day.
Yes.
She slapped him and got cursed.
Yes.
The reason that's important to know, because Liv Morgan lost.
Yeah.
To Io Sky.
Yeah.
And now has to defend the title against Io Sky.
Now hold on.
At SummerSlam.
And is still cursed.
And is still very much so cursed.
Jesse, just because you lose a match doesn't mean the curse of Danhausen has ended. You have not paid Danhausen to remove said curse.
I'm just saying that curse since last year has been batting 1,000.
Jesse, between the NHL and the NBA, I believe he went 21-1, and the one was Donald Trump.
He's batting 1,000.
So technically, he went 21-0. No, yeah, he went 21-0-1. Like, I mean, Jesse, before we move on, we need to pause Night of Champions for 2 seconds and understand something. This is, without a doubt, because I'm going to move Cody to the side because I feel Cody always had a plan to go back, and Cody made the decision himself.
Right.
This is Tony Khan's biggest fumble, is that guy, Danhausen.
Well, he was always a license to print money, but instead, because you're supposed to be the wrestling company, you try to make him do all this other shit. And by the way, he can wrestle. He had a great match on SmackDown.
Yeah.
He was very good.
Yeah.
But it's just, he's a license to print money because of the character.
Jesse.
And you just,
Jesse, a wrestler you and I both know mutually, and I both had a conversation. In real world wrestling, not the IWC, Mike the Miz Mizanin is looked at as one of the all-time GOATs.
Oh, yeah.
Because, Jesse, he still has a career this late into his life.
Right.
Because he's willing to turn around. And, Jesse, okay, it's like you said with what Punk probably told Triple H, but it's like you said. The Miz got told, we're going to give you Kit Wilson and you're going to work with Danhausen. And Mike, being the genius that he is backstage, probably went to Danhausen and said, okay, what do I need to do to get this gravy train to keep rolling at the rate that it's rolling? And he goes in. I guarantee you Danhausen has all this stuff like taken care of.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's also a lot of rifting, let's be honest. He kind of just does his thing.
Oh, yeah.
But because I'm sorry, even though I've heard her singing voice, it'd be hard for me not to be a little flustered if Liv Morgan didn't walk in looking like that. Like I'll just be honest with you, I'm a red-blooded American, but
she's incredible.
Yeah, but the fact that Danhausen just played it straight, and let's be honest, no offense to Liv, no offense at all. If you know what Danhausen goes home to, he ain't got to be looking anywhere else.
True.
He doesn't really need to look anywhere else.
He's doing quite well.
He's doing very well.
He's doing quite well.
But no, it's just, Jesse, and Miz has always done the one thing that R-Truth tries to tell people. If you just commit to the bit, everyone will just let it be what it is.
Right.
Look, as hokey as I find a lot of the AEW stuff, it's because of where they decide to slate it. But everyone's playing it down the middle.
Are you talking about the Super NES?
I'm talking about just most of it.
We'll get to that spot. Match was great.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm very excited for this. By the way, hopefully the long-term Stephanie's good. Stephanie Vicaire.
I heard it wasn't injury and it was just visa now.
Which is very, and unfortunately, because in our country, it's very fucking possible.
Which is
just unfortunate. But
it's very strange. We don't want people to come in, but they're the ones that spend all the money.
They don't want most people to come in except those willing to work with them. but and be underneath them. But that's a different conversation.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's
All
very
right.
strange.
So next we got the steel cage match. Listen. Like I told people, for now, this is the end of the feud. I truly believe that, not just for Michael Cole's call. I've always said, for now, this is the feud. And also just, this is what I want to talk about from this match, because I did love this match. I thought, to me, this is match of the night.
I thought the ending was, so well done.
The big thing I actually want to talk about was the setup.
Yeah.
And I got to give Seth all the credit. Just how these two guys sitting down in those chairs, knowing what they were about to do to each other.
Yeah.
I thought was a beautiful setup. And it made me start thinking, how is Seth and Roman Reigns' last matches actually going to go? Because they have way more history than these two.
Yeah.
And this might have been Seth's better feud probably since Punk.
Yeah.
So... yeah, I'm really excited to see what's next. I know Seth has been kind of going down that path of I want to get at Roman,
Yeah. Because he drops Roman in almost every single thing he does.
Think they both probably talk about it. Roman's career is coming up. He's going to call it at some point.
Yeah.
And I know some people really want the Rock match. I'm sure we'll get it. But I'm like, it is not as important as Roman's final match being against Seth Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, if there's one time he finally gets that win, it would probably be on his way out.
Yeah.
Because like I keep reminding people, yes, at the Royal Rumble all those years ago, Seth did not take the title off of him.
Right.
Roman did not beat him.
Right.
Roman got disqualified. So, Braun Breaker is a stud.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to bring something up. It'll be kind of semi-controversial.
No.
He's still a little limited as far as persona-wise.
I have never looked at Braun Breaker, even though he's been on main roster, even though he's had these feuds.
Yeah.
They've been giving him gold and opportunities. Jesse, to me, he's still so far from a finished product.
Well,
There's still so much. Jesse, what he is, he's the football player who got to the Super Bowl early, but he got carried there, and now he's filling himself out. Because, Jesse, I think you and I will both admit, Tom Brady's first Super Bowl, he just didn't screw it up.
I'm about to say, he just didn't make the big mistake.
Yeah.
They had a good defense, a good running game. He didn't make the big mistake they wanted.
But later in his career, he went on to win MVPs.
Correct.
He went on to be the guy.
Correct.
And that's where I think Braun Breaker is I think Braun Breaker is in the era of he's going to get pushed to a lot of things,
right?
But he's not there yet.
Right. But even with that, I do believe he's probably one of the more exciting young performers they have outside of Javon and Oba.
He brings an intensity
it's insane.
Jesse, the one thing that AEW has always failed at, and it's the one thing Jim Cornette has always been right about, no matter what anyone wants to say, if you are able to just look at it and believe it, you'll buy it.
Right.
You'll buy it. Like, okay, Jesse, I showed you a purchase that I recently made.
Sure.
You know that based on what that was, I paid a pretty hefty premium for what I purchased. But Jesse, you know what it is.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get what you want.
Especially between you and the 7 other big metalhead buddies that I have that I've shown it to.
Yeah.
Everyone's reaction out of the blue has been, "Are you fucking serious?"
You kind of had to go get that.
I kind of just had to say, "Hey, honey, I'm getting this."
You just got to work a little overtime to make it back, but I mean, it's worth it.
Yep.
It's worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, and listen, I think Braun Breaker is going to be an interesting guy that we continue to watch and monitor.
And like I said, Jesse, as long as they don't turn him into something that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Jesse, when that guy flexes, when that guy screams, when he pumps up, when he barks,
right.
Jesse, you believe it because look at the motherfucker.
And he'll add more dimensions to himself
Absolutely.
at some point. But right now,
because
I think he does great.
Because, Jesse, at one point, before the steroids and stuff got involved, the Steiner brothers were the most athletic tag team in the fucking world, and he's got all that athleticism wrapped into one.
By the way, also to let you guys know, I have somebody's recap here. Bleacher Report said WWE is cooling off. A Braun Breaker needs to be studied. I'm like, what cooling off?
Cooling off?
Because he hasn't been in the World Championship picture for a minute?
Roman Reigns was out of the title picture for a minute.
To be honest, I think that's why the fucking United States title reign when he was the big dog didn't work.
Yeah.
Because Vince didn't just focus on him as a character and all that. And so when he was champion again after like 4 months, I was like, what the fuck?
Remember, John Cena was right. He took like Roman unfortunately saw the U.S. title as a demotion.
Which he shouldn't have.
John was right.
Because there was definitely some truth to that.
Yeah.
Where John was just like, I'm going to use this title to start to promote the next generation.
And funny story, one of those people that he promoted had a pretty big night of champions. We'll get to it.
So next, Trick Williams retains against Ricky. Can I say this about Ricky?
Yeah.
I don't think it's completely caught on with everyone yet.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
But I do think his future is fucking immense with this company.
I think that Ricky is in a place that is not going to stifle him, that is not going to take away his love and his creativity of wrestling. And I think that much like other people in this business, sometimes it's just going to take a minute before the fans connect with something.
And I will say on that SmackDown, the banter with the fans was really good. It kind of shows what his potential is going to be. Like I keep saying though, my real worry for Ricky isn't I guess the biggest thing is age.
Yeah,
he is a bit older.
Yeah,
but otherwise, match was phenomenal. It is weird that Trick Williams is kind of this hybrid babyface, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And I do believe overall they got to get back to re-elevating the guys like Ilya and all that on SmackDown.
Yeah.
But this, just like the Intercontinental Championship, this is one of the more interesting title pictures WWE has.
Yeah.
Next is Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's United States Championship. First of all, these two have great chemistry.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to give this match a bad grade, but I actually loved a lot of it. Was to me, and now to me, this is not their best match.
No.
The one where she took the title off her was their best match.
Yeah.
I do believe, especially for the two women that are going to lead this women's division in the future with him, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
I do believe that when I come out of this match, I go, man, I really love the women's division in WWE. There's just something special here.
And after this match, I said it, and like I said, I'm going to take my own Stodamus moment here, and I'm like, if you tell me that Jade is in the same place that she was when she left AEW, both in-ring, on the mic, and aura-wise, I'm like, okay, you are legitimately wanting this woman to fail.
People who criticize her now about all that, it's just completely unbelievable now.
And
most people can tell it's just not believable.
And by the way, I won't even go as far to say as it's racist because I feel like the IWC very rarely is racist. But I will say you guys get stuck on a topic and you just don't get off it. And it's like this girl was put in a bad situation in AEW, regardless of what you think. If it was a situation of say, if Orange Cassidy was given the kind of push that she was given, I would say that's big for him because he already understood the business, his character, how to work, all this stuff. This is a girl that was greener than goose shit and was pushed to the moon and was never really taught how to learn, was never really taught how to get better. And for a couple of years, you realize she became a moan and groan section because it was like, okay, it's going to be like 2.5 minutes, and then she's off the show. But then she gets to WWE, and from the get-go, Jesse, Triple H is shaking her hand. Triple H says this is going to be the next big thing. Because Jesse, she'd already, remember we talked about it, she already had the confidence and the ability to work a TV down.
And yes, while the initial Bianca injury led to the pregnancy, so we've had to put that off.
Yeah.
the pairing her with Bianca might have been Triple H's most brilliant move.
And Jesse, because she's a former athlete, because she has that mindset with her husband also being a fairly successful former pro athlete,
right.
Jesse, she's gonna work. And she's going to put in the time and the effort. But the problem is, Jesse, we talked about last week Billy Bean. The unfortunate part about it is that if you keep the same expectations on someone, they're never going to reach them because they were supposed to be something that you say, well, Jesse, Jade's not at Rhea's level after a month. She's not going to be. It's not possible.
Let's talk about that really quickly. Now, yes, I'm excited that we're going to get Jade and Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair cost Jade the match.
Yep. Yeah.
I know people are going to talk about Jade's gotten pinned again. Yeah, that's different. The last match she lost to the Women's World Champion, somebody she's going to be feuding with probably for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
And yes, we've all been salivating at the thought of a Charlotte Flair.
By the way, folks, shout out to Buddy Matthews proving the internet wrong that just because you're a bunch of insecure little fucks doesn't mean he gives two shits that his wife brings home a bigger slab of bacon.
But let's talk about his wife. If she's going to be gone the rest of the year, she can't just have that title at home.
I agree.
Triple H needs to figure out what the health situation is looking like.
Yep.
Because that's a big piece of your pie.
Yep.
Do not learn from your father's-in-law mistake.
Yeah.
Do not pull a Brock here.
And by the way, again, not even Brock's fault.
Right, because he said he was actually willing to work the dates and at least do all the PLEs. So, like,
I also want to point something out to anyone out there who has watched the Paul Heyman interview. You realize that there is now only a 2-degree separation between Brock Lesnar and Chris Van Vliet.
Right.
If Brock's going to do an interview with anyone other than Pat McAfee, it's going to be Chris Van Vliet.
It'll probably be Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I'm actually expecting once he retires for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm expecting him to do it, and Chris is going to do a great job.
Oh, yeah.
And like I tell people, Chris's thing isn't to, like, he's not, how's the best way to put this? He's not a journalist.
No.
He's
a conversationalist.
He's a Hollywood interviewer.
Yeah.
That's where he started.
Yeah.
When he used to do that, it was for press junkets and stuff like that.
He famously made Anne Hathaway blush.
He's not going to get onto a question thing with Anne Hathaway and be like, so about you trying to murder kids with your car. No, they're there to promote a movie.
Yeah.
He's not going to ask that shit, otherwise he'll never work again.
Yeah. He knows that.
And yeah, in pro wrestling, because it's more him, he could probably do it. But I'm like, if you want to see people ask them hard-hitting questions, that's why I tell you, go question SRS.
Yeah.
Go question those guys. Like, hey, that's what you guys are supposed to do. Chris Van Vliet is our kind of Hollywood media piece for these guys.
Yeah.
You let him do what he does.
Yeah.
But back to Rhea, they need to figure out how long she's going to be out.
Yep.
Because you can get away with this for Saturday Night's Main Event to have this great match, Charlotte versus Jade.
And I would almost
that title cannot sit at home.
And I would almost put a caveat on that if you're Triple H. And again, it's her own personal business, but she did bring it public, so we're allowed to talk about it. I would also tell her to go to therapy and figure out this whole eating disorder thing as well, because like there's obviously a lot of stress on you this
she says
run.
She's developed one.
Yeah,
it's that that's especially since she's such a big asset.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure they love the person, but
yeah.
But it's just true, and I know some people never like hearing that, but I like in business, at least if they care about you in that way too, that's good. But you are also an asset.
Well, Jesse, I mean, the biggest example of that just happened here in Minnesota. I really hate to be that guy, but if you wanted to upgrade your team and you made X, Y, and Z untradeable, guys, I'm sorry, but Naz Reid was a necessary evil to what they were trying to do.
As a great now, I do want to say this though. I'm excited for the Alonzo Ball pairing because you can now allow Anthony Edwards
to not be double teamed every fucking 5 minutes.
He can play off ball.
Yeah,
but I'm just like,
we lost a little size. And
I don't like that. Really, it's not the size you lost.
It's the heart and soul of
It's the heart and soul and the extra fucking average of 16 and 10 coming off.
I agree. Jesse.
I'm like, Rudy Gobert's just not that kind of guy
No. But Jesse, as I explained to everyone, if you're gonna make Jaden McDaniels a no-go, and by the way, Jaden McDaniels would have netted you Giannis Antetokounmpo. We learned that because the Miami Heat didn't give up anything for Giannis. They gave up a bunch of bench players and a few first-round picks. Like, that's all they gave up.
They gave up a cheeseburger.
Yep, exactly. That's all it was, which is weird because Milwaukee's already got more cheese.
Milwaukee's one of – I saw that shit. I'm like, Milwaukee Bucks are one of the most unserious teams in the NBA. I'm like, you got a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I know they got some picks and they got a player.
Yeah.
But when I really wrap it up all together – I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, that's why I said the Wolves only gave up one first-round pick for Lonzo Ball because they got swaps 3 other years.
The Knicks at one point offered Cat.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, is now a champion.
Yeah.
And is going nowhere. They offered you a cheeseburger for this nigga, bro. Some late-round picks, some picks in the future.
Technically, if you want to be honest, hello, is this thing on? Okay. Hey, Milwaukee, Naz Reid was better than anything Miami gave you.
Yeah, and they said no to that trade last year, or late last season.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, Here was the thing. I told people, I'm like, anyone looking at the Rams-Browns trade, think it's a bad trade for both teams is stupid. I'm like, the Browns had to give up, or the Rams had to give up a first-round pick and a great future young pass rusher who's already very good now.
Mm-hmm.
To give up, a current All-Pro and all that, but you don't lose anything at the position because he has the potential to get 15.5 sacks this year.
Yep.
And you get another future first-rounder. And for the Rams who are trying to win it all now, you got the best damn defensive player in the game.
Yeah.
That's a W.
And that's why I tell people, guys, assets unfortunately sometimes become so good but you can't keep everything. And I look at Rudy and I say, Rudy Gobert is their defense. Sorry, he is. Everything runs through that. Lonzo Ball is going to do exactly what Minnesota has been trying to do for 2 years, which is, oh shit, Anthony Edwards is all we have on the court, and they're just going to keep doing X, Y, and Z to him, and now they can't because there's another guy that can do it.
Lonzo's a shooter, so that helps.
Yeah, but now back to wrestling.
It's also, and like I said, he's just really a good point guard.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Jesse. Now going back to wrestling, like we said, it's a good asset, a great asset in Rhea Ripley, but for the short term, unfortunately.
If she's not going to be back most of this year, you got to get that title.
Yeah.
Oh, and really quick before I go to the next match.
Yeah.
Just because the man went home.
Yeah.
And decided to go do some of his commentary stuff. Why in the fuck would WWE be letting CM Punk go? And why would he want to quit? Like, this seems to keep coming up. And I'm like, guys like him have been told, if I don't have a story for you, why would I force you to come do nothing?
It was also announced 2 weeks ago during Raw, he's going to be at Fanatics Fest. Under the WWE banner.
By the way, which Randy has gotten pulled off of, which now has people kind of worried about his neck again. Like,
yeah.
Fuck, is he going to be okay? But, yeah, stop it. CM Punk's fucking going nowhere.
Not to mention the fact, Jesse, Punk obviously has a love of this again. Where's he going to go? Back to the guy he can't stand? The guy he has no respect for? Like, he may hate the politics in TKO, but at least he respects the boss.
As much as I like CM Punk in the ring, his ass is too old for New Japan now.
Yep.
He don't want none of them problems. And the big part of the night, the triple threat for the undisputed WWE Championship, Sami Zayn is finally not just a Triple Crown winner, not just a Grand Slam champion, but the WWE champion.
The first official member of NXT, to win the WWE title. Jesse, he didn't get the world title, which for years they gave to wrestlers because Vince didn't see them as his guy.
Right.
They gave Sami Zayn the belt.
Right.
The belt that holds a lineage with the Roman Reigns, the Brock Lesnars, the Hulk Hogans, the Bruno Sammartinos, the Bob Backlunds.
Right.
Like, Jesse, Sami Zayn has reached a peak that you couldn't have told a small masked man in a orphanage in Mexico that he would have been in. By the way, still officially missing, but I thought Kevin Owens said he was dead.
Somebody mentioned, he's dead.
Yeah.
So somebody mentioned El Generico, and I'm like, well, this is weird because
Kevin Owens confirmed his death.
he died in the Mexican fucking forest out there.
Yeah,
I don't know what you guys are talking about?
But Jesse, let's talk about this also. The most perfect crowd to do it in front of.
Well, and that's why we all thought it could happen at the Rumble when they were there.
LeRoy said it at work, and all three of us said it on the show. That would be the place to do it.
But no, they do it at Night of Champions.
Crowd lost their shit.
I do like that. People can hate on Cody Rhodes all they want. He's the one who did the job, and I appreciate that.
Because
him losing the title and him getting pinned to lose the title, at this juncture, he loses nothing.
No, God, no.
And I'm actually interested to see what kind of stories we tell.
I'm interested to see if after all the emotion, does Sammy stay heel long?
Well, he's kind of this hybrid heel right now.
Well, yeah.
So between Oba and this win for Sami Zayn,
yeah,
and of course, getting physical was Gunther and Nick Aldis. I kept telling people, like, guys, that guy didn't physically retire from anything. So,
no.
I'm pretty sure he's going to come back.
Go watch Mickey's interview with Chris Van Vliet. She says he's fine. He could do it. But right now, he's just doing one of the best GM jobs that's ever been done in wrestling.
I mean, listen, you get to get paid to not get in there as much is nice.
Yeah.
Let me make something incredibly clear here. Did we wait a long ass time? Yes.
10 years.
But I also want to be clear on this. Can everyone who keeps thinking it'll never happen for LA Knight chill?
Oh, God.
If this shows you anything, I guess there are some promises. Even, I guess, for me, I have to eat a little crow. Even though I've always said Sami Zayn would win it at some point.
Yeah.
And I keep saying LA Knight probably will win it.
Yeah.
And I was still very pissed off about the White Six thing, and I still am.
Mm-hmm.
Some promises are kept.
Yep.
LA Knight will probably be champion at some point. And then the big thing from this one is, hey, the bloodline, you got your way. I mean, I know it wasn't Jay, but Sammy's champion.
You don't think Roman's not going to eventually show up to talk to Sammy and say, Sammy, look at you, blah. Look at what we gave you.
And remember that they got along in the old
bloodline
5-on-5 match.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm happy they pulled the trigger.
Well, and now that we've said that, we can say this, Jesse. I'm just happy for the guy. I mean,
if we're talking about the man,
yeah.
Oh, this is well deserved.
Oh God,
this is insanely well deserved.
And for Michael Cole to remind everyone on his 10th try, Jesse, he might be the ultimate underdog. That might be the guy that you look at and you say, Jesse, Vince never saw him as a world title guy, but I think that if Vince unfortunately would have been there long enough, he would have had to have put it on him. So, Jesse, I think what Sammy is an example of is what LA Knight's going to become. We're not going to make you Ric Flair. We're not going to give you 12 world titles. Right. But if we give you one, can you make it matter?
Right.
Can you make it worth something?
Right.
And, Jesse, you and I both have probably said privately, when he looked at that crowd and said, you're damn right, I deserved it, that was 30 years of his life frustration coming out, being like, yeah, I worked for this. Don't ever look at me and tell me I don't deserve here, because there were people online being like, well, the WWE's dead with this, and I'm like, you didn't like Cody. Why the fuck is this going to be a problem?
You know what? We'll get into the sickos here in a second, but
there were non-sicko people that were just like, well, the WWE's ruined everything, and I'm like, what do you mean they've ruined everything?
They've picked back up finally in the last few weeks, and now with this show.
Yeah.
I would like to see it continue. We'll see. I'm sure something stupid will happen because they're owned by the dumbest ass idiots on the planet. But
yeah.
Overall, I gave this show a 4.35 out of 5.
Well, Jesse. Well, and Jesse, here's the other thing for me. What's been really unique to me about the last few WWE PLEs. Fine, you all want to sit there and you want to say, well, AEW's show lived up to every moment and, it was great because it was always meant to be great. Okay, put a pause on that bullshit for like 2 seconds. But WWE has surprised you the last few PLEs, because even the sickos are coming out of it being like, well, okay, it wasn't bad.
You know what? We want to do this. Let's get into Forbidden Door.
But, well, no, before we get there, I want to give a shout out to Jesse. I'm going to give you a second to talk about it, but Sami Zayn's victory reverberated in a small meet and greet.
Are you talking about Killer Cross gets there?
I'm talking about our boy Killer. Jesse, nobody felt more vindicated, more right than that guy. Now, of course, he was happy for Sami. We knew that. The real man was happy for Sami. But the businessman, Jesse, he had a moment.
I want to be absolutely clear. That was one of the better stories. When they were just allowed to leave, I was just like, the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
This is one of the better stories we got going on, because he was in Sammy's mind. He was in Seth's. Like, there was some cool shit going on with him.
Yeah.
And, like, you're not just going to pay them? Just fucking pay them.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see that reaction.
But
it was really cool. Because here's the thing. Wrestling truly is a love story. Once said by the great Wyndham Rotunda. But the stories can only affect us in those ways if they're allowed to flourish.
Jesse.
And Sami Zayn winning is kind of vindication for all the work he did.
Well, Jesse.
And I mean Killer Cross.
Right, yeah.
It's just
well, that's the thing. That's the thing, Jesse.
Work.
When you go back and you watch the reaction, the guy's not standing up there making it about him and saying I was right. He's genuinely like, wrestling is a love story, and a guy who deserved it a long time ago. And again, maybe this is like I said, this is the indie crowd looking at the sicko crowd and saying, but guys, this is what it's actually about. Sami Zayn doesn't need 10 world titles to be vindicated.
Right.
Sami Zayn, after 25 years, is vindicated because he got to a place that even some of the greatest of all time names that we talk about never got to.
Right.
If you're talking Vince's era, Roddy Piper never got there.
Right.
Vader, probably deserved more than what he got.
I gotta go look that up.
Did Vader? I think Vader got it a couple of times, but
Vader's a couple.
I think it's a 3-time.
Yeah.
But Jesse, it's like there's so many guys that Vince never put it on.
Right.
Matt Hardy never got that. There. But. I mean, I look at it and I say, Jesse, like, Sammy got there.
No, he totally got there. So let's see. WCW, he was the World Heavyweight Champion in 92, 93.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
United States Champion. And then the World Wrestling Federation. Sorry, I got to go down to championships. Niggas are like retyping out his story on Wikipedia. Like, niggas didn't know. No.
Okay.
No. WCW,
Yep.
He was 3 times champion.
Yeah. But Jesse, that's the thing. A lot of guys didn't get it.
Right.
Sami Zayn's legacy is he got it.
Right.
That's Sammy's legacy.
Right.
Like, it's not... Wrestling is a love story, but Jesse, love in and of itself is not a quantity thing. Now, to some people, that's their version of it, but the overall total story of love is usually, as media has taught us, that one single moment.
Yeah.
Sammy got there.
Yeah.
And a guy like Wyndham was probably watching it being like, yeah.
Actually, it's funny. He's the last 20-year-old champion in WWE. When he was 28, he won that title. He's the last 20-year-old champion.
Yeah. You want to get into it?
So for those who don't know, we do talk usually before we do the show. And I told him we're going to have some disagreements because I actually thought for the most part the show was pretty damn decent.
Yeah.
I didn't say shit about the buy-in. I am fucking tired of these.
Yeah. These are bad.
Drilla Money beat Daniel Garcia. Now, here's the thing. Drilla is one of the young stars being pushed from the L.A. side of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
Proud of that L.A. dojo.
Uh-huh.
Body of an Adonis, works his ass off. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they believe this will help in their endeavors of pushing him in New Japan, no problem.
Sure.
For Daniel Garcia to lose again, makes every time I think about that deal, go, meh.
You know, Jesse, we'll talk about it when we get to the Will Ospreay Swerve match, but I'm going to preface by saying, what exactly are the Death Riders anymore? They lose more than they win. They're embarrassed more than they are. We're not going to talk necessarily about Dynamite this past week, but that moment where they did the spinny fucking thing and Will, like I literally commented, "What the fuck was that?" And people were like, "Well, what are you talking about?" Like, guys, that made no sense. That didn't help anyone. It literally was stupid for the sake of being stupid.
Daniel Garcia has become a waste of time.
Yeah. And he obviously doesn't care because he's getting paid for it.
Malika defeated Sky Blue. You know, it dawned on me.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last singles match Sky Blue has won.
That's because she's been so busy clapping for Thekla.
I'm like, I can't remember the last time she won a match, but I can remember all the looking at the lights and the claps. And then Divine Dominion beat Thunder Rosa and Olympia, which is Megan Bayne and Lorraine Cross.
Or as Jim Cornette calls them, and unfortunately Jim's right, I've watched the matches, the Brainless Amazons.
Forgive me, guys. Every now and then you're going to hear that. Thunder Rosa should have a career that reminds people of Super Crazy.
Yeah.
A little bit of Ray, definitely some Eddie.
Yeah.
And instead, post everything that happened with the doctor, nothing. So, what was that, 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
We haven't done shit of importance with this woman.
You know, Jesse, how many times over the last couple of weeks have I brought up, last week Chris Statlander was my latest example. All the talent in the world, where is your give a fuck? Where is your give a fuck of your own fucking career? Jesse, I am all for being a team player. I am all for how can we all get to the next level. But at some point, Jesse, they have what you don't in the music industry, and that's clout. They can ask for things, And if someone doesn't give it to them, they deserve to say no and walk away.
I want to be clear about this. In New York, we're all about loyalty. We're very loyal to our teams, even though they always lose.
Yeah.
We also have another saying. What the fuck is loyalty?
Yeah. Without results?
Without some happiness.
Yeah.
Thunder, you're still loyal to this company. You've talked about being upset with the company.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Look, Jesse, how many times have you and I said, guys, just go out in an interview and tell us that, well, the money's too good. Just say it. Because then you'll tell me that you've stopped caring, so I'll stop caring.
So to start, the Young Bucks won the triple threat against Mystico, Asuka, and Shingo in Titanium.
So I said this last week, and I want to elaborate on it again, and we'll talk about it for like 30 seconds. Jesse, I don't care about these two
also,
anymore.
they changed the name of it. For those who don't know, it was called the Big Party Match.
Yeah.
And then it was just a triple threat.
Yeah. But Jesse, I don't care about these two anymore. They're not even useless. They're literally not a fucking footnote in the show anymore. They don't matter to All Elite Wrestling anymore.
The Luchadors are great. I love Shingo Takagi, former IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Still pretty young, I think, only 30, 31.
Yeah.
And Titanium I've only seen recently in the LA side of the dojo.
Sure.
But
there's not even it's not even fun to make fun of them anymore. They're shells of themselves. They're shells of what they were.
I hate the Bucks. All right, guys, I can't do it. It's been 20 plus years. I cannot fucking do it. It's the same shit. Listen, if white people want to have unflavored chicken, you have unflavored chicken. Do not invite me to come eat that unflavored chicken. I will remind you how disgusting your shit is to my fucking mouth. And that's the Young Bucks. I don't want the potato salad with raisins in it. I think it's fucking nasty. That's the Young Bucks. I don't really want to drive a Toyota Corolla. I think they're a little shitty. That's the Young Bucks. I really don't want to drive one of the Elon Musk cars because I think they're pissed poorly built. That's the Young Bucks. Should I go on?
You would and you could, but we don't have enough show left.
Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. Listen, the match is fucking excellent.
You know what's funny? Jim Cornette said in his
match of the year quality. Of course, it was.
Jesse, he said in his preview the same thing we said. And by the way, I didn't even listen to the preview until the day before the match. Why did this match happen? Because Tony could.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because Tony could.
Tony got the opportunity. And by the way, Zach, your whole shtick about you don't want to wrestle in America, it's over, bro. You've been here like 3-4 times. It's over. No one cares anymore. Stop using that shtick. When you stayed out of America, you could do it. But now you come in because they pay you. It's fine, but shut up.
So listen, because like I said, they had 2 or 3 matches since the first one in 2018 in Japan, and those were all fucking incredible. Mm-hmm. And this one was another one. It was great.
Yeah.
But I still come out of it and I go, how does this benefit these two? Oh, it doesn't. It's just because
Jesse, I'm gonna
wanted to see it.
Jesse, I'm gonna make you put a number to it. How many more, if you want to say classic or total, you pick. How many more matches do we have with Kenny?
I'll give it months of time. I'll say 14, and that's me being a higher guess.
Yeah,
because this is a pretty broken man. Now he can still do a lot of shit.
Yeah,
his timing is incredible.
Yeah,
but he definitely ain't the same wrestler he was. So next, Jon Moxley and Bandito 1-on-1. Moxley beat Bandito to retain the Continental Championship, and yet this is probably not going to shock people. I went to go take a shit during this match. This match was unimportant. I knew who the winner was going to be.
Yeah.
And
they also set it up in about 14 seconds on Dynamite.
I'm tired of Jon Moxley. I am so tired of Jon Moxley.
Every time someone makes a comment about John is doing great work, he's putting this over, he's doing this, he's doing that, I literally comment, you are fucking eating the shit sandwich and you're thanking them for the ham. This is a joke. No, I'm serious. Let me say this. This man, anyone ever has the fucking balls to look at me and say, this is the best member of the Shield since they broke up, go fuck yourself.
Shit. No.
Jesse, he is uninspired. And by the way, whatever he thinks he's doing, I don't give a fuck, John. Go on Twitter, come on my show, I'll look you in the face, asshole. You don't give a fuck. You are lazy. You are everything Jim Cornette thinks Okada is, except that Okada is just lazy because he doesn't need to do anything.
I thought Okada was fun during the match, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, but no, Jesse, everything Jim Cornette thinks about Okada, the laziest wrestler in the world, the least amount of work wrestler in the world, that's Jon Moxley.
To a T.
He doesn't fucking care.
He wrestles a lot, but, it is...
You tried to give him credit for that Shane Taylor thing, but then you went back and you watched it and you were like, oh, this motherfucker was smiling for this table spot. Made Shane Taylor look like a bitch.
I'm so over Jon Moxley. Next we had Shota Umino, the global heavyweight champion, versus Pac.
By the way, did he take that off of Andrade? Did Andrade lose that title quickly?
Yes.
Okay.
I love Shota. I keep telling people if you're gonna watch New Japan, watch it for some of these young guys like Shota Umino.
Yeah.
It's a little closer to 30 now, but okay. I'm gonna go splash water on my face after I say this. This is just not the same Adrian Neville anymore.
No.
That guy used to be exciting. This guy's bland, boring, and I want to put a gun in my mouth every time he comes on screen.
Well, but to be fair, Jesse, and I'll take this while you go splash that water in your face. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm going to do it. The Death Riders are the single worst pushed faction that has ever existed on this planet. I never want to hear about Wolfpack. I never want to hear about NWO WWE. I never want to hear about Kai and Tai. I don't want to hear about Choppa Choppa to PP. I don't want to hear about I don't want to hear about Bill and Chuck. I don't care. This is an embarrassment to the wrestling business. And the amount of talent that's in it is astonishing. The amount of people in this business that have the level of talent that are in the Death Riders, the level of ability to actually make wrestling entertaining, holy shit. Is it wasted? Is it not ever shown? And is it just so poorly motherfucking presented?
You know the incredible part about Chuck, Billy and Chuck was, even with the homophobic stuff, even with the gay stuff,
yeah,
even with the sometimes really shitty comedy, it was actually a really fun story overall.
Yeah.
Every time I think back on it, including being there and stuff,
yeah.
It really was a very fun tag team. It really was. I've never had fun with this faction. If they've had a good story, it goes to the fucking dogs immediately. And then you got great wrestlers who we've seen do great stuff. Like I told people, even if he seemed uninterested in doing this stuff with Enzo, the guy sold the shit out of it, Adrian Neville.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the stuff with Randy Orton was really good. People are always like, what stuff with Randy? I'm like, go watch some Raw highlights. They're on YouTube between him and I mean, the blow-off match happened on Raw. So
yeah.
Vince didn't take the feud seriously, which was a damn shame because I thought it was one of Randy's better performances.
Yeah.
Shota Umino's great, as I said, but everything with the Death Riders is so fucking bad.
It's awful.
It's so bad. I'm not even going to do it to the Cleveland Browns. I'm not going to compare them to the fucking Death Riders. because they actually are building something good and young.
Yeah.
They're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying. So I'm trying to think of the perfect sports football analogy. You know what? For our European fans, we'll call them Tottenham. Just throw money at it and hope it gets better. What else? Here in America, you know what? Here in America, I got one. You know, here in America, because they're not my Jets. My Jets are actually building. They're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying. And the owners are finally getting the fuck out the way. They're trying.
Yeah.
You know what? There's the team. There's the team. They're the Arizona Cardinals. They're just completely fucking aimless at this point.
Yep.
We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
You know what, Jesse? I'll say it. And I don't care.
If you wanted a wrestling thing that's like provocative of the President of the United States,
it's the Death Riders.
It's the Death Riders.
Jesse, I'll say it. They're the Minnesota Twins. They've got a name in Byron Buxton, and past that, they've got some talent that no one cares.
They've been competing,
right?
Though now the White Sox have cleared themselves.
But guess what, Jesse? There's no direction for the Minnesota Twins. No one cares.
I'll take the reason I'm going to take your analogy because you know where it starts. Bad fucking ownership.
Yep, the worst ownership in all the sports.
What the fuck is Pac doing?
What is Cesaro doing? Jesse.
I'll be kind to him because I saw him on the Indies. Are you ready? What the fuck is Wheeler doing? What the fuck is Wheeler Yuta doing anymore?
Isn't his hair almost like halfway grown back at this fucking point?
Yeah.
It's just, Jesse, when you used to get your head shaved, we made you shave the head again and like make it shiny bald for a couple more weeks to make fun of it. He's just growing it back now and no one gives a shit.
Listen, they needed their house Japanese guy. You know, we used to call it the house nigger for black people, but it's the house Japanese, and that's Wheeler Yuta. Since the leaving of William Regal and Daniel Bryan, this thing is fucking lost, bro. And it's just continued for no fucking reason.
Jesse, what I needed people to understand was that Will Ospreay and the Death Riders had no chance from the word go because there was no reason for him to look at Jon Moxley and say, you can get me to the world title. Jon Moxley can get you to the world title. Jon fucking Moxley kept it in a briefcase for 7 months. Can get you back to being a killer? You're the aerial assassin.
And Jon looks like the dad assassin. I mean, he's in great shape, but like, it's a joke. It's this. I don't ever want people to go on the Blue Meanings podcast ever again and ever talk about the BWO. This is the worst fucking faction.
But the BWO was meant to be a parody. At least they took their shit seriously.
You know what? To Wade Barrett, you and the core are vindicated.
Yeah.
This is dog. And you guys just weren't booked well. This is dog shit.
The League of Nations looks like the Nation of Domination compared to this shit.
Once again, that goes back to also just not being booked well because all those guys were world championship caliber.
Yeah.
This is dog shit. By the way, I guess tonight they were heels again. Get the fuck out of here. Next, we had Thekla versus Starlight Kid. For those who don't know, and I don't talk about this a lot because no one ever asked me about Stardom. We'll talk about the big events, but I don't get asked about Stardom otherwise.
Yeah.
So Starlight Kid, I believe, has a winning record against Thekla in her time in Stardom.
Okay.
So they finally adjusted part of what the reason they wanted to do this match for, which was for Thekla to attempt, I guess, to get the big win, which she got last night. Of course, we got the disrespectful thing of taking off the mask and all that.
You just wish they booked the women right.
I want to be clear. It's not often I get 5 out of 5 matches. This is one of them. I thought this match was fucking phenomenal.
It was great.
These two have insane chemistry. I'm like, they have yet to not have a fucking banger yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's, by the way, I still believe that about Io and Liv, and I think SummerSlam's going to be great.
Yeah.
Zach, my problem. Because, by the way, guys, I'm telling you, I was excited about all this. It sucked. Like, what happened to Kid absolutely sucked. And yet, like, this is great heel shit from Thekla. Like everything in this match was actually fucking killer.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
There's still no one to challenge Thekla.
Yeah.
When is she going to get her comeuppance?
Mm-hmm.
You're building this super heel and all this shit, and you have her come to the interview thing and do all that shit with Renee and her boss sitting right there. Hey, boss. Hey, while you're sitting there laughing at her antics, why don't you make the women's division better so someone can come fucking beat her?
When she loses, if she loses in the next 3 months, it's not going to make sense, Jesse, because in 3 months you can't build a believable person.
It's probably going to be Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
I'm as progressive as they come. That's why I don't really believe in everybody's whole woke bullshit thing. You don't know why? Because I don't believe how woke you believe somebody to be. They can still be fucking bad at what they do. Tony Khan is bad at what he does. This should be a driving marketing thing as far as, because people don't realize the reason the Bloodline kind of helped, especially the Triple H assance, was because Roman had become this thing onto its own so much that the world actually wanted to see Cody beat him.
Yeah.
Unless you were a Roman diehard. Like, everyone was like, no, I kind of want to see Roman actually beat this smug motherfucker and get that title for his family.
Yeah.
Thekla capable of telling that story. She's proven it. There's no one to challenge her.
I also hate to say it, Stodamus. It ain't going to be Chris. They're going to give it to Monet out of nowhere. It's going to happen at Wembley.
If Monet beats this woman in Wembley for no good goddamn reason, I think it's official. They are solidly the third place company. I would much rather watch TNA. Actually, for me, they dropped to 5 because I got a couple others. I already got a couple others ahead of AEW. But for everyone else, they should drop to 3 in America. You're better off watching TNA if that happens, because that would be a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Finally saw Mandalorian Grogu. Wouldn't be as much of a joke as this was.
Yeah.
That should have just been an hour and a half TV thing.
Yep.
You know what? I'll give everyone that. Because it wasn't bad, but why they made a fucking full-length feature movie was stupid.
Yeah.
All this awesome shit that happened in this match.
Mm-hmm.
And she's holding that shit. And I'm like, man, I can't wait. And then as soon as I said in my brain, man, I can't wait for somebody to beat her. Oh, yeah, there's really nobody.
There's not a soul.
They have no baby face I want to see beat her.
Nope.
And I didn't even think of Monet because I'm like, it shouldn't even come close. And yet, you're probably right. The World Tag Team title match, Edge and Christian, because I refuse to now call them Edge and Cope, Cage and Cope, beat the Dogs. Here's the main thing I want to talk about. Because the match is fine.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But the problem is, Jesse, based on what we talk about on the show, which is the truth, this match had so many overarching disappointments for me.
Okay, go for it.
First of all, the Dogs, that's well documented.
It's a joke at this point.
Yeah. Cope and Cage, Edge and Christian, they could have done so much with their return as a tag team. They could have actually built a tag division out of this.
The only person I feel bad for when it comes to that thought is Christian.
Yeah.
Because he did come back to WWE, and Vince wasted it.
Yep. And then there's also, cool, you got the Switchblade back. Who really fucking cares?
Okay, so that's where we're going to disagree. But agree. Let me explain.
Okay.
Why would I care?
Yeah.
Great question, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, because I think it's awesome if you can tell a great story between former Bullet Club leaders.
Fair enough.
And this is one, technically,
that is unfinished?
David would fucking need so badly.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
Because when you start to think of the former Bullet Club leaders, I got to tell people, I think it still starts with AJ.
Yeah.
when AJ came into that group,
yep,
he pushed. We need to be the best. We don't need to just disrupt and destroy this place.
Yeah.
We need to remake it in our own.
Because who was
image.
the leader when they just kind of got disqualified from the G1 and they kind of just spit on the tournament?
Well, that was kind of the first runs, and that would have been Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Finn, he goes number 2 because he's the original.
Yeah.
But I got to tell people, they just didn't see him as world champion.
Sure.
Like he was almost like the Sami Zayn of that moment. He got like 7 cracks at it and never won. It's so much so, like I said, for a minute I forgot he actually didn't win it.
Yeah.
I actually did think he won one.
Yeah.
And the other reason there's excitement is because Jay White is back, and I just think Jay White is the fucking best. I like. And maybe he'll leave after this because maybe his contract is up, and I want to see Jay White do fucking great things. And I actually want him to bring the Bang Bang Gang with him.
Please.
Because I think they would do great shit in Triple H's WWE.
And Triple H needs tag teams.
And I think he would love that kind of a faction. Like dude, very much like DX. Like, let's fucking go. They would probably have all the gold in a year. And plus, it's, of course, what's the name? Sons. And for all we know, Billy Gunn and Triple H still have a very good relationship.
And by the way, you don't want to tell me that Triple H wouldn't take one look at Juice Robinson and be like, "Oh hell yes."
That dude's so good in the ring and so charismatic as a character. He would be salivating at the things they could do with Juice Robinson. But I'm gonna be as clear as I fucking can. Who gives a fuck that Cope and Cage beat these guys, the Dogs? The only interesting member of this team, and by the way, I keep saying it, I still like David Finlay. As anyone with a brain, I love Clark Connors.
Yep.
And I fucking love Gabe Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
But now Gabe Kidd is fallen into the constantly defending AEW thing. Why?
What's it getting you?
It's never going to get you
Jesse,
anywhere.
Jesse, Seth Rollins did it. You hated on him for it, but you know what he got? A world title.
Right.
Seth Rollins got compensation. What are you getting out of this, Gabe?
Nothing. Nothing.
What you doing, Gabe?
He'll probably get a bigger paycheck at some point.
Yeah, well.
Oh, sorry. Before we go on to the women, I almost forgot. Did you have anything to say?
Jesse, you said the only thing that can be said, and when we finish up our review, we'll get to why I feel the way that I do about it, but I'm going to save it till the end because it's what you want to talk about, because it's unfortunate what you always talk about after we're done with an AEW pay-per-view. But next match.
So Mercedes did beat Maya World.
May I, just for 2 seconds? Bitch, keep Eddie Guerrero's name out your fucking mouth. You felt his presence? Eddie put people over, sweetie.
Eddie became WWE champion.
And then gave it to his friend because he didn't want it anymore.
Because, one, he was so... It reminds me of, actually, because Vince tells the story. But
yeah.
I'm also like, it reminds me a lot of when Shawn Michaels got the World Heavyweight Championship. They told him, he literally said, guys, don't do that. Because he had grown so much from all the shit he had did in the past.
Yeah,
he was like,
yeah.
Guys, I'm okay just going out here doing great stuff and putting these kids over. He's like, doing the fun matches with Triple H. Like, I don't need to be champion. And Vince was just like, Shawn, if I don't do it, I have issues.
Yep.
Like, we're going to have issues if I don't do it. Mm-hmm. Triple H was like, if we don't do it, we look unbelievable. You should probably win this thing at some point.
Yeah.
And for Eddie, it was the same thing. Eddie, you got to beat Brock.
Yeah.
You got to be you're so over and loved. If we don't do it, we're missing an opportunity.
Yep.
Even though he did not want it.
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes Moné is not that person.
No.
She's not that selfless. She's probably one of the most selfish people in pro wrestling of all time.
Yep.
And listen, usually I wouldn't even have a problem with that, but it could, depending on how you were. But you had an opportunity here. And I get people are half and half on Maya World, fine. But you had a real fucking opportunity here.
You went back-to-back in a tournament that... Oh, hey, Jesse, remember, WWE didn't build any stars with King of the Ring.
As I can tell, Opa Femi's a megastar.
Yeah.
As I can tell, even some of the losers, Soruka seems to be doing pretty good. Now, she kind of got off of social media because so many of the IWC people are asswipes, and you can't just leave good well enough to fuck alone.
Yep.
But, no, they've done a great job of building stars. The problem wasn't the building stars with the tournament this year. It was to shorten it like that. And like I said, I didn't mind the Fatal Four-Ways, but I'm like, man, we're really shorting this thing this year.
So, Jesse, who was the star coming out of the Owen Hart women's division this year?
Probably Maya.
Okay, but Maya lost.
She lost at the end. But this is the one match I would not get. So I do have it. This is the one match in my notes on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I gave less than 3 stars.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This wasn't good.
Monet dominated.
Yep.
You really yes, she got the big baby face come back in my world, did a lot of really cool things. And then she just lost. And in my brain I'm like Triple H just did, you have the opportunity to go, let's create not only some intrigue, but give somebody something deserving, something they deserve.
Yeah.
No, we just Monet is our baby face now. She's going to go out the back left.
Jesse, I'm just going to say it. You can be right, and it can turn you into the most selfish piece of shit on the planet, and you can make people not care about you being right. I don't give a fuck anymore because Jesse, okay, this is the internet. Hear me out. 2 women walked out that night.
Right.
2. Both were right. Both weren't wrong. But one came back.
One has lost all the goodwill she had earned.
And the other one has said, well, because of it, you should all give me all the fucking glory in the world. Bitch, fuck you. Mercedes Moné.
By the way, that's the same woman I'm talking about that lost the goodwill.
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Mercedes Moné. Go fuck yourself. You don't get it anymore.
What is the one thing you can do that's the most Vince thing you can do after saying fuck you to Vince? Oh, I'm going to be female version of Ultimo Dragon without realizing what Ultimo Dragon actually did. I'm like, in hindsight, that's a very Vince thing to do. To know the history of something, want to copy it.
Why does everyone keep repeating Vince's history? Triple H seems to be the only person who doesn't want to do that.
Like I tell people, that was kind of the bad part of sometimes SmackDown being so boring recently. Because I'm like, he's trying not to repeat Vince's mistakes.
Yeah.
But in doing that, his version of bad can be boring.
Right.
But I'm like, even though SmackDown's boring and it has its issues and some of this was kind of bad, I always used to caveat by saying, this still ain't 2010's WWE.
No, it's not.
Because some of that might be worse than some of the stuff during the Attitude Era. This is just a damn shame. And let me be clear again before I go to the next match. She better not fucking beat Thekla. Listen, the time to do it, and I gave him credit for not, was Toni Storm.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, just let her have all the belts. If Tony's the first person to beat her in, like, a month or two, fine.
Well, not to mention the fact, Jesse, once again, we have to repeat. Ultimo gave up the belts not because, I'm not going to do this, let me just put all these people over. He lost them because he couldn't do it, because he had to work for all these promotions at the same fucking damn time.
That's just the cage match. This is going to be interesting. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You know what?
So I'll name the participants.
Yeah.
It's Team Briscoe.
Mm-hmm.
Team Briscoe, of course, was Mark Briscoe, Konosuke Takeshita.
Member of the Callis family.
True. Darby Allin, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Orange Cassidy, which is 3 of the members of the conglomeration along with Briscoe. And then we had Team MJF, the world champion of AEW, Kyle Fletcher, Kazuchika Okada, Kevin Knight, Jake Doyle, which, by the way, I thought Jake was fucking awesome.
I thought Jake was going to be out longer than he was, but yeah.
But Jake Doyle was awesome in this fucking match. And then Andrade El Idolo. Zach, I will let you go first. You rip off.
All right, so let me just say this. I'm just going to say what I truly think of the match. And you know what, Jesse? I decided to just do what you've asked me to do in the past. I'll give him credit. I think the cage was a unique idea. I think they once again went a little too hokey in certain spots. I think it was weird that if it was a cage match, why was no one trying to get out the entire time? And I think it was a contrived circus of bullshit spots because clearly nobody had any urgency to get out of the cage. No one had any urgency to win. And MJF is once again a one-note pony who just went back to the same shit he did against Hangman. I thought you were supposed to grow, motherfucker, but whatever. But I'll say this, Jesse. I enjoyed it, but I have one question to you, and it's how we're going to end the show or end this review after you give your review of this. Where do you go from here?
Okay. You're going to be surprised today. I really like this match.
No, I expected that.
I really fucking love this match. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me talk about the circular steel cage first. No problem trying something new. No problem.
Yep.
It's pro wrestling.
Yep.
Try some new shit. It's all about evolving. Try some new shit.
Yep.
When I saw it, I'm like, Tony, I actually gave you 2 thumbs up for trying something new.
Yep.
Overall, fucking hated how it looked once the match started.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it cut it into off corners, which is weird.
Yeah.
But overall, I went, you know what? Kind of a cool concept. Let's see how it plays out in the match.
Sure.
So even though I give it 2 thumbs up to start, I hope he does not ever do it again. Okay. Leo Rush loved his appearance in this. I like the character a lot, though unfortunately AEW is treated as a joke and not serious.
Yep. I've loved it. Leo Rush, Mr. Gonna retire every 5 minutes. Maybe he found a way to love it again by doing this. I don't know, but whatever he's doing, it's entertaining.
I thought he was phenomenal in his appearance and kind of single-handedly helped him come back and win. Jake Doyle was the unsung hero in this match.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, the low blow he took from Andrade, I'm shocked he has a dick anymore. That was
something.
Either he really kicked him super hard in the dick, or he's going to have a welt on his left inner or right inner thigh like we've never seen in pro wrestling. Because Andrade kicked the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And Andrade turning on MJF, I really dig. Because he's basically...
Well, I'm just happy we finally decided that a faction in AEW can have a member actually deceive the other member of the faction.
Here's the thing, and this is why I'm just like, whatever was going on in WWE, if it had nothing to do with Charlotte, then, yes, does it suck he's doing it in AEW? To me, yes, but this is the best I've ever seen Andrade.
Oh.
His ability to tell a story, everything. He's top-notch right now. And that's why I'm like, sometimes I'll see him and I go, sucks it didn't work out because I thought with Triple H in charge it was really going to work out.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, to give AEW credit, because WWE, if I had to give one from Night of Champions, it probably would be Io and Liv. I fucking love that thing back to back. I wouldn't have that match how it happened any other way. Those 2 women are incredible.
Yeah.
This would be my other 5. This would be my other 5er. Let's talk about Super Nintendos for a second.
They were a solid-ass piece of machinery, weren't they?
The only thing that stopped this match from getting a 6 out of 5 was, what was it, 4 Super Nintendos?
Yeah.
I love goofy wrestling. Love it. I tell people all the time, I'm like, good goofy wrestling is always a good thing because it's just fun. Pro wrestling is scripted. We should be able to just have fun. Okay? I can live with the Super Nintendo thing from formerly known as Cool Kyle. No problem.
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
That many, though, the joke got as old as the rest of as almost everyone in the ring is. It's just like, okay, you can stop with this stupid ass thing now. Outside of that, here is my issue. Jay Briscoe's getting this match on Wednesday, guys. He's getting this title match on Wednesday, which he's not going to win. So that was a waste of time. Andrade is very heavily in this scene. With this win, and we're going to get to the last match, in Andrade's turn, there was a chance, in a way, for AEW to set up one of the most intriguing Fatal 4-Ways ever in London. But instead, we're going to run through 2 guys, one Andrade who doesn't deserve it, just to get this match. And we're just going to get the one-on-one probably.
Mm-hmm. Because, Jesse, Tony's going to close up that loose end before we get to Ospreay. By the way, quick question: Did that review that you read not have Swerve versus Will?
That's what we're gonna get to. So this was the main event, or it wasn't the main event, but all right. So Will versus Strickland. This almost started at a -2 fucking with Will Ospreay's interest. What the fuck? That was the worst one he's ever done.
It looked cool, but it didn't make any fucking sense.
So are you trying to say the Nazi club brought the assassin out of you? Is that what we're doing? The losers club over there with the dogs and in the Japanese dude that they abuse? Is that what we're... The Russian chick that's fucking very terrible at this pro wrestling thing? Is that what we're doing? Swerve was great. The match was great. Though his couple of last his last promo I thought was really good.
Sure.
Made up for that whatever the fuck that previous one was with Swerve. That was bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah, the match itself great. Why not just set up the Fatal 4-Way?
I don't know, dude.
Coming out of this match, that was my question. Just set up the Fatal 4-Way. It actually will be better than the one-on-one.
Yep.
Ospreay's going to win.
Yep.
So MJF is now a transitional champion? I'm beat. I'm beat. And then the post-scrum... If I have to hear this man talk about great, good, fabulous...
How many times did he mention God, too?
Quite a few times.
Yeah.
I'm going to look like the biggest AEW hater if that keeps going on. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore.
Told you, the one time I decided not to watch was because I got to the point where my great, good, fantastic, best run of shows meter finally got full, and I was like, fuck it. And then, of course, that was the night CM Punk decided to be like, can't manage a target.
Greatest thing ever from an AEW scrum. I will never forget. Because this man comes after everybody else comes through. And I had it on the background like I was telling you guys.
Yeah, I know. You've told the story numerous times. And by the way, folks, Jess is going to tell it another 1,000 times because he loved it so.
And he sits down.
Mm-hmm. And as soon as he found his first reporter, you were like, oh.
Well, because he was talking about the match. And then he looks over and he sees the guy who he knows himself and
Scott Colton.
It's Scott Colton, Colt Cabana.
Yep.
And when he mentions Scott's real name,
Mm-hmm.
and he starts going in about the article that was written,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, popcorn and butter out, because this is the one dude who does not give a fuck if you're going to initiate to fire him.
Nope.
He's going to be fine. So that's why Vince did it on his day off, by the way. I'm always convinced. The reason Vince did it while he was getting married is because Vince knew he would get cursed the fuck out on live TV. So he was just like, I'm going to cowardly send this shit to him while he's getting married.
Yep. Because April wasn't going to have him ruin their day.
Because if you had him come back to Raw and sit in the middle of the ring and be like, go ahead and say your goodbyes to the fans. Well, it probably would have been the best Raw ever, because he was going to go off. He was going to go off.
Oh, yeah.
But
oh, yeah.
He starts to go in on the Bucks, Scott Colton, Colt Cabana. And even with the boss trying to go, I should have nipped this in the bud, he just goes, basically, shut up, little boy. Let me take care of something you should have took care of 7 months ago.
Yep.
I was just like, this is fucking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, he talks about the shop and all that, and I'm like, WWE will never be able to replicate this. Good for you, AEW, because this is real drama right here.
Mm-hmm. And then they squandered it.
Oh, AEW did the best thing ever. Not only did they squander it, it's then he fired him.
Mm-hmm. Paid him all that money, by the way.
He tried to use him to make money, and all it did was lost him viewers. Let me be clear.
The greatest moment for an AEW hater was them putting that security cam footage up there. And Jesse, I remember because okay, since you're already going down to it, let me say this. No.
It was funny because it was just like
it proved everything he said.
Because it came out 3 weeks after he does this interview with
Ariel
Helwani, and you're watching this and you're like,
it went word for word for what Punk said.
This motherfucker not only did he not lie, he gave every fucking detail. Why would you show this?
Well, Jesse, okay, so we're already down the rabbit hole. Let me say, for those of you who are like, Zach, I bet you loved it. I'm like, no, because you know what I realized, and I could hear the audible groans in the audience. I realized, Tony, you just literally lit your own fucking house on fire. Jesse, I'm not so much blinded to my distaste of Tony's booking that I can't see the damage that it did to an entire company. I can't sit there and say to myself that the last time you reached 900,000 people was a video that made you look like a fucking idiot. By the way, Jesse, hold on. When you went back to watch it, it cut from the Bucks to FTR in the ring. They pulled it from their own fucking feed. They edited it out. So we need to, LeRoy. No. We need to figure out which episode that was, because if that episode's on Tubi, LeRoy's watching that and telling me if that video footage is there.
So good. Okay. They go to FTR, who looks completely uncomfortable now, because they're like,
well, but their promo in the ring didn't match what the Bucks just did.
Right.
So now we go from that to Jesse. The man has control over these scrums.
Just like the waterfall, the well ran dry for them on that.
Yeah.
These scrums are a waste of fucking time.
Oh my God.
Like I told people, I was happy that WWE changed it up and got rid of those, because the one thing I appreciate is maybe Triple H realizing he's fucking very bad at that.
He's very bad
at answering public questions. He is dog shit at it. Vince was way worse.
Not to mention the fact, Jesse, not to mention the fact, Triple H also knows, because of the negative press that WWE has been getting for the years, that the second they found out, the second that a media news outlet found out that WWE piped the questions in, told them what to ask, that would have been plastered everywhere. That would have gone everywhere. All these people in this AEW thing, we know you're being fed shit.
We know you're being paid to be there.
You're being fed the lines. We know that Renee talks to you for probably 15 minutes before anyone or before Tony enters the room, but you don't have the balls to say anything about it because of two things. One, either Tony does his favorite thing, which is has you sign an NDA,
right.
or you're all just too fucking nice to the guy who's not Vince.
Bro. I come out of Forbidden Door, and you know what I think to myself?
Yoda's right.
I think to myself, sometimes, maybe, just maybe, if we're repeating the same fucking insanity, give somebody else a chance to drive the car. When I saw the announcement that they were going to do the MJF Mark Briscoe title match on Dynamite, I almost pissed my pants laughing. Because you have this big, beautiful moment, and we're going to piss it away. Just like that. I want to say something to the sickos. What you guys actually are is a bunch of Boston fans. It's so easy to be loud when your team is constantly winning, like the Patriots were and winning those chips.
For 20 years, yep.
And then all of a sudden, because this is what I was told happened in Boston, which was what was happening online. Man, all these loud fans got real quiet when they had the Cam Newtons of the world, and they just, they weren't sure what was going on. And then, they did the one thing I thought would be the worst for the league, but Bill fucked it up. When they drafted Mac Jones, I was like, fuck it. His arm might not be as strong as Tom, but coming out of college here, he's actually a much better reader of a defense than Tom. Now, we did see that with San Francisco last year. We know what the young man's capable of. And they made the defensive coordinator offensive coordinator, and he put him in the worst positions ever. But it's easy to feel like this big-time guy and talk shitter when your team's winning. What happens when they're losing, right? They lost at NXT again. And it has to be, what, maybe they are. Somebody said they're a little like MAGA in the sense that it's a cult that never wants to call out their leaders, be honest about the issue, shit like that. Which is, by the way, real.
Mondani's going to destroy New York.
I've got bad news. The city that has had a negative budget for
ever. We'll just say forever.
142 years.
Yeah.
No longer has a deficit.
And you know what's funny, Jesse? The MAGA people still try to tell you, well, look at the pensions of people who won't retire for 20 years.
You know what he did recently?
Jumped in the pool. When was the last time you had a public pool in New York, Jesse?
He told the renters, the people who rent to people.
Yep.
Because they're hitting such a surplus in certain areas for housing.
Yeah.
For a month, for the next 2 months, you cannot charge rent.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were collecting too much. I think it was like something on the way of taxes or something like that.
Yeah.
That they really didn't need.
Yep.
And yet the city still now has a new surplus. So technically he can actually give money to citizens in the city, which he's planning on doing.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say this because, some people decided to call some of us misogynists, even though the movement was started by women. The Bernie Bros movement.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, that was started by white women.
Yeah.
Men actually came to Bernie a little bit later because we had to go learn this record, especially a lot of us younger guys. Because we didn't know. I mean, the motherfucker, it was just like, he's another guy that's been in fucking the Senate House for 40 fucking years.
Well, that was the thing for me. I'll just get it out of the way, Jesse. Bernie Sanders, to me, was never he had the right idea. I don't believe he was the guy to enact it. Again, my personal politics. Sure. I am not here to hate on anyone for it, say anything about it, whatever. Believe what you want to believe. There are people that stop talking to me over this. That's your prerogative. You want to be an adult. If you wanted to be an adult about it, fine, whatever. Jesse, you know me very well. My wife is bisexual. I am a huge supporter of the LGBTQ community. I've also criticized it for the things that I believe that it does wrong and stuff. But Jesse, I've said before, I don't believe in what he said in how he would do these things, that Bernie Sanders was the right guy to do it. Right. But his ideas sounded great. I look at Mondani and I say, hey, Jesse, I can't deny the motherfucker's not making this shit work.
Let me be clear. This is the one thing, even when you used to discuss the politics of Bernie with me, I used to say, my issue, even when I became a supporter, a volunteer, got to meet him.
Yeah.
Still have contact with some of the people who work with him.
Mm-hmm.
My issue wasn't that he couldn't do it. My issue was, I don't believe there's the right people around him for him to do it.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Because I've now been around the Democratic Party since I was 18, so almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And actually since I was 16, so definitely 20 years. And I've never seen a group of bigger whiny bitches. And we live in the same country with conservatives.
Yeah.
So but when I met him, I got to a spot where I was like, here's the thing. Because to be fair, since I'm trying to remember his name from the 70s, since Jimmy Carter, Obama, even though I'm like, you could have did way more, my nigga. You waited the last 3 years to get so much done when you could have did way more.
He was fighting Congress the whole time, though. Let's be honest.
But if you look at Trump and some of the other Republican,
I agree.
I'm like all these presidential things that are these executive orders.
Yep. No, I agree.
Like, and you just didn't do them because you didn't want to seem like the bad guy. Fuck.
To quote Cat Williams, No, to quote Cat Williams, he could have pulled the N-word out a little more.
He should have been a nigga more. Yeah. No. We all agree. Like, he should have been a nigga way more. But that's why everyone's just like, dude, the dude was class. Like, we almost missed that because he was so peaceful.
Yeah, exactly. To the IWC.
Let me tell you something about your beloved fucking Tony Khan. I don't care if now he's reformed and he gives all this money and all this shit. The job is to run a business and to create content.
Yes.
What's the current numbers looking like for the attendance for Wembley Stadium, sir?
Well, the original setup was 20. We'll round it up to about 28,000. And they have still not announced that it's sold out yet.
What was the first show?
72,000+.
Okay. And that was, 4 or 5 years ago?
Actually, Jesse, if you would like, I have all the numbers for just Forbidden Door. If you would like those numbers.
Let's do that.
Would you like me to just read off?
Let's go for
2022 from Chicago, Illinois. 16,529. Mind you, we had been a company for 4 years.
Right.
4 years we'd been a company. 2023 in Toronto.
Yeah.
First time in Canada doing the show. 14,826.
Oh wait, what was the number last year for Forbidden Door?
In London?
No, you said Chicago, right?
No, Chicago was 2022.
Right.
16,529.
Okay.
Toronto, 2023 was 14,826.
Okay.
Now we get to the real issue. 2004 from Long Island, New York.
2024, you mean?
2024, yep. Long Island, New York. 11,000. 2025 doesn't count because Jesse will tell you, Europe, they show up.
Yeah.
18,922. Last night, San Jose, 2026, 8,700.
That's embarrassing. WWE with AAA is going to get more numbers than you, is what you're saying.
Yeah. In America, AAA.
So let's do Wembley since people think maybe they can call this a caveat, right?
Okay, sure.
And then the sickos can blame New Japan, which, you're idiots. Okay. Well, New Japan's at its worst moments. Not really. You don't know. You actually don't know shit about the history of New Japan. Let's start with the first because Wembley is the big show, so it's All In.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the first All In.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, I know they had 2 separate nights. We'll just kind of estimate the combination.
AEW has held 2 major events at Wembley Stadium with their inaugural 2023 show seeing a paid attendance of 81,035 in 2023.
Okay.
Turnstile count, actual entrance, 72,265.
So that's the first show for Wembley.
Setting an all-time pro wrestling record for tickets sold.
That's the first Wembley show.
All In London, 2024. Tickets distributed, 53,385. Turnstile count, 46,476.
Next.
That's all they've done in London. Those are the two. Those are the 2 Wembley events.
And now it's about 28,000.
Yes.
For a stadium we know good God and damn well can fit like 90,000.
Jesse, they fit 60 for an English Premier League game at 4 o'clock in the afternoon local time.
Well, let me be clear. Taylor Swift, I'm pretty sure, fit 90,000 in there.
Oh, she found a way to do it.
Because she's Taylor fucking Swift.
Jesse, once again, you're not going to sit there and say that you're the world's biggest Swiftie, but you're also not going to sit there and deny that she ain't put 90,000 people in an arena.
Oh, I want to be clear. I didn't even realize this. The Arizona Cardinals actually blocked me on Twitter for a short time because I made the joke after tagging them. I said I'm like it's kind of fucked up for the Cardinal Nation fans. I actually feel bad for you because I've been a Jet fan my whole life. I know about watching bad football and bad ownership. You're probably going to have less fans in there than what this year through the year than what Taylor got in 2 nights.
Well, wait, hold on. But don't forget, the funeral of Charlie Kirk probably had more people than Taylor.
No, that was still less than Taylor.
That was less than 1 night of Taylor.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure he was loved, but not that many people. So and for a while I didn't actually see them pop up, and they actually recently just randomly popped up on my feed, and I'm like, I wonder if they blocked me. Usually that happens when somebody blocks you.
Yeah.
AEW should be embarrassed. You have to now set up this stadium, and it is a stadium, and it's a world-class stadium, for 28,000. Let's come back to that Texas show now, shall we? Remember when I said
that was the show that I wasn't here for. Great job, by the way, boys.
I said, but before that show, I said the Rangers only recently, even though that stadium's new, only recently started selling that bitch out when they were winning, which was a damn shame because for baseball, it's hard to get 60,000 people to show up
a night, yeah,
because because we know in the summer there's so many fucking games. I can wait until August. I'll still be able to go. Where football, you have the 16 weeks, so you're just going to go each Sunday, or each Sunday you play because you only get a certain amount of home games. Okay. And then they did like half. They did fucking half in Texas. They did half of what the Rangers do. They did half of what the Rangers do on a bad year. And now you're going to Wembley, and you're going to do 3,000 less than that. It's not, let me be clear when it comes to AEW. This has nothing to fucking do with anything besides your fan base and the product. If the product was good and the fan base was still toxic, people would go. The reason I know this is because I am an NFL fan. And of all the major teams, especially if you're in a big city on the East Coast, every single one of the fucking fan bases is toxic. They just are.
So, Jesse, just a quick note, because I'm going to transition to my next thing for you. What should AEW be? What's the E word you just used? EMBRASS?
Embarrassed.
Okay, funny story. Mass Brain, one of the people over at the Pro Wrestling World Facebook page, 8 hours ago, Jesse, so that would be this morning, decided to post something that I think you would. I believe you'd like to respond to because
Okay.
I don't think you've seen it. But
Sure.
I'm going to read this out. So once again, Mass Brain is who put their little undertag here. We're going to give the Pro Wrestling World a shout out here. Congrats, boys. First of all, the post begins with a picture of the dual championship photo of your guy Yoda Sushi.
Okay.
Suji. I'm going to read this verbatim. Would you like me to finish it, or you want me to stop along the way? It's entirely up to you. Just.
You know what? I will step away from the mic. I'll let you fully read it, then I'll respond.
Okay. Anyone know who this guy is? He's the IWGP champion, and last night he had the chance to represent his company at Forbidden Door and didn't. All capital. In fact, he said he never wants to work with AEW because it doesn't help IWGP. Not a company, but okay. Yoda Asuji, you don't deserve that belt. Your job is to represent that company to the best of your abilities, and all you want to do is stay home in Japan. Then again, you're not good enough to represent the company internationally.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Tanahashi-san, get the belt off this loser and put it on someone who wants to be your world champion. World champion is in all caps. And not just a world champion who wrestles in one country. Your response, good sir.
Well, besides all the spelling and fucking word errors, easy to, I'll respond as presidentially as I can.
Okay.
He's been with that company for 8 years, including his dojo runs and excursions. So, not wanting to be champion for New Japan, sir, clearly you fucking know nothing about him or being a New Japan pro wrestler. That's number one. I'm glad we got that out the way, that you know nothing about Japanese wrestling. Number two, he told you why he didn't want to go. I noticed in your soliloquy of fucking of errors, you didn't mention why he didn't want to go. Well, you mentioned the one thing. You said he didn't want to work with AEW.
Because it doesn't benefit. I believe you meant to say New Japan, not the IWGP, which, again, is not a company in the wrestling business.
By the way, look up the acronym for IWGP.
International Wrestling Grand Prix.
Thank you. By the way, if you knew anything about Japanese pro wrestling and maybe somebody questioned your actual understanding of it and probably brought up the original creator, who was fucking great, by the way.
By the way, just so you want to know, Jesse, underneath the Pro Wrestling Network official Facebook page decided to comment, "It's a storyline, LOL," about Yodo not wanting to work at Forbidden.
You guys are all idiots. Does anyone remember the first person that said that their company probably shouldn't be working with AEW more, and he fucking called this before anybody else?
Would you like to remind the
That
folks
would be Moose.
Yeah.
Moose, who was hesitant to even go there to work a story.
Mm-hmm.
Not because he didn't want to work with the wrestlers,
Yeah.
but because he said, my guys have experience. We've tried to go over there and work with them. It is not beneficial.
No.
Why? Because after basically... For Moose, without going into detail, though I would love to hear, because I've now heard his wife do interviews, I would love to hear from her side of things. I'm guessing sitting in a room with Tony Khan for 20 minutes made him go, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yoda.
Yoda Tsuji is one of the most, maybe not as well known here in America. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, New Japan has been trying to break into that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They've had some luck when it came to Kenny. They had some luck with AJ, even though AJ was already known and stuff like that. Yeah. And of course, they had some luck because, of course, a lot of people know who Jeff Cobb is and shit like that.
Yeah.
By the way, it looks like that's where he's headed back to.
Okay, yeah.
So they've had some luck, but they've never been able to get one international star to stick for them to kind of raise their American stock. And that's something they're going to continue to struggle with because of when they do pro wrestling here in America. It's when you do it here on a Friday, well, WWE is more well-known. People are going to watch SmackDown.
Run a Wednesday. Nothing good's on.
I'm guessing Bitch Boy won't want them to do that. So, all Yoda is doing, by the way, I want to be clear to that fucking idiot. Did you have a problem when Gabe Kidd said it 2 years ago?
He probably doesn't know Gabe Kidd said it 2 years ago.
Because Gabe Kidd totally said the same fucking thing as a lesser champion 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he works there now.
Yeah.
Now he's AEW, yay.
Yeah, it's because the paycheck cleared.
But I remember 2 years ago, he was talking about it's a pissant company.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck would want to work with them?
Mm-hmm.
New Japan is where all the real wrestlers are now.
Mm-hmm.
He changed his tune when he got his paycheck.
Hey, Jesse, you can be part of a rivalry between the Yankees and the Red Sox, but when you're a bench player for the Red Sox and all of a sudden you play for the Evil Empire and they're paying you $100 million a year, your tune changes on the Yankees
also,
real quick.
For this fucking idiot, you probably only know of Tanahashi because he went there, but because he showed up to do a couple shows for AEW. Did you know who he was before that? Because I've watched his legendary career. I know Tanahashi. By the way, who's doing a great job with New Japan. He's doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
It's the stars that are on the rise and that are great are mostly now, including Yoja, between 32 and 25. Their future is set the fuck up for them.
Yeah.
Very smart. And I get that was a cultural thing, but that's just very smart of Tanahashi to go, we need to do this.
Yeah.
They're not lesser athletes.
No.
We need to do this.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to just shit on your whole point right after that. If what he said is so bad to you and you don't want him to be IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, which is just fucking funny, ask Kenny. Kenny's right there.
Yeah. And he speaks pretty good English.
He speaks very good English. Good Canadian kid, Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Go ask him about his thoughts on what Yuji said. Because he reacted to it.
He did.
Go. As a matter of fact, I wish I had that quote that you just read in front of me. Okay, if you feel this way.
It's still available on the Pro Wrestling World's official page.
I might go and be like, if any of you guys still feel this way and all this shit, go watch Kenny's reaction. He didn't disagree with him. Which is telling of Kenny Omega. Because without Kenny Omega, the Elite don't even exist.
Nope. Because, Jesse, once again.
Without Kevin Owens and Kenny Omega, the Elite does not exist.
Jesse, once again, we need to.
It was just a stupid fucking chant those boys came up with that no one took seriously until they started working with Kevin Owens and Kenny Omega.
Jesse, we have to remind people, because Brian Last has connections, and he said, no one in New Japan took them seriously until they got with Bullet Club.
Correct.
And all of a sudden, they're hanging out with Finn. They're hanging out with the Gorillas, who in Japan were at least taking.
Well, they were already megastars.
Yeah. Kenny Omega all of a sudden formed this little trio with them. Oh, it's funny. I just mentioned the Bucks' fame and didn't mention them.
They don't get to where they were
without everybody else.
In that side of Bullet Club without everybody else. And I want to be clear.
They weren't, Jesse, they were the third best tag team in that fucking faction.
Cody only decided to go to Japan because of Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Because he didn't really want to do the Bullet Club thing. And then Kenny was telling him about the benefits of Japanese wrestling and learning about their culture and how it can help you here back at home.
Yeah.
And he went, because, Cody Rhodes is a good fucking guy.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll give it a shot. And it worked out very well for him and his wife.
Yes.
Otherwise, the fuck is that guy talking about? Yoda's right. Just want to be clear. They did the, we talked about the pre-show. What did I say? I thought that they were probably going to let the New Japan guys win most of the matches. They want all of them. I wonder why.
Because we're trying to get them to be like, oh, please, New Japan, come to Forbidden Door 2027.
I cannot. In January, in December, I really need Tanahashi. I pray to you, Tanahashi. I will send you all the candy straws you want, good sir.
Ace.
The ace. I need you, good sir. Cancel this fucking relationship. Be done with it. Oh, thank God I drank all the water. Be done with it. Be done with it. Because he knows his champion is right. It does not benefit.
And Jesse, you said last week on the show, if that guy is saying it, what's the rest of that locker room saying?
Also, in the main event matches, in the main card matches,
yeah,
they lost all of them, which I said they would. The tag team didn't win.
Nope.
And yes, technically Stardom is its own thing.
Yeah.
But it's still Japanese wrestling.
Yep.
She lost.
Mm-hmm.
So
you had all the Japanese guys do the jobs.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah, once again, folks, now on to the ending topic for this show. Jesse, we said it before.
Mm-hmm.
Your hesitance, even though you said you were going to be positive about the show, which you were for the most part.
I was very positive.
But, Jesse, now comes the analytical side of Jesse Stowe. What will the follow-up look like? Historically, not great.
So I kind of gave you guys a little bit of a preview. What did I say? I said I pissed my fucking pants when I saw during the damn. Well, I guess they posted it during the scrum.
Yeah.
He's going to get his title shot, Mark Briscoe, because he earned it on Dynamite this Wednesday.
Mark Briscoe can't sit there and say, I deserve this match, and you know what? I'm going to Wembley. Nope.
You know who Tony Khan is to me?
Boy.
Stephanie Myers. Like, this guy's a fucking joke. So for those who don't know, because I know we got some, as we grow, we get younger listeners. That's the book writer from Twilight.
Yeah.
For those who don't know about those movies, I always said I cannot be mad at the director series of the movies because if you ever read the books,
I can't get mad at Kristen Stewart.
I'm like, if you ever read the books, you would wonder why the studio would even want to do this dog shit.
Jesse, Kristen Stewart, people don't realize, had to make 6 movies of a character out of a paragraph of descriptive shit.
You know who
Edward's left ab got 2 pages. That's not a joke.
Didn't the description of his brother's butt cheek get a full page?
Yeah.
And by the way, there were spelling errors and issues all in that book. It's a horrible read.
And they still printed it.
And all these women, because of fantasies, actually bought it, especially older moms. Okay.
Yeah. And now there's parents raising children on that.
Let me continue on this comparison. I remember the one actor during, because most of the movies that came out when me and my cousin did a watch-along with my mother, who was kind of a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't want to keep ripping on each movie as we were doing it.
Yeah.
But they were so fucking bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, Willie and I came up with a new joke.
I did see the first 2 movies in theaters when I was with a girl.
Yeah.
And because my mom was asking, she's like, well, at the time, did you do this in the theater? I'm like, the second movie, I let her finish with her and her friends. I left. I don't even remember which action movie I went to see.
Yeah.
And it was probably, but I left.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yep. No. Yep.
I could not. Edward, what? Bitch, speak up. What are we? Have some emotion.
But what was she working with? A paragraph of descriptive fucking work.
And let me be clear.
She deserves an Oscar on that.
Because I saw the 3rd film with my mother and walked out. You want to know why? Because vampires don't sparkle. Vampires don't sparkle. Nigga, I have never seen Count Dracula sparkle in my fucking... Even as a cartoon character, this nigga has never sparkled in his goddamn life. He has eaten chocolate cereal, which is still odd, but he has never sparkled.
That was his cousin.
And werewolves don't just walk around with no shirts all day. Come on, man. Have some fucking respect for lore.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was forced to sit through the last two. There was an actual fucking 15 minutes on screen where a woman was yelling at a fucking 30-plus-year-old adult, "You imprinted on my newborn baby."
You would think I would think that's the worst thing ever. No, you want to know what the worst thing ever was?
Go ahead.
We actually get to like a 20-minute fight scene.
That never happened.
And then it's so kick ass and all this shit. And you're like, all right, let's do this. And then she wakes up. It was a dream.
No. It was a vision.
I've wasted 6 movies on a vision. Somebody has to die. Somebody has to die.
In Minecraft.
That thing made $600 million.
Yep.
Ladies, let me be clear. I remember I had an ex who was just like, how can you watch Star Wars? And I was like, here's the thing, miss. I'm pretty sure we broke up 3 days later.
Fair enough.
I'm like, here's the thing.
That would be the start of the downturn, let's be honest.
I'm like, there's things like, because I told him, like, when I went to see a Notebook with a high school girlfriend at one point in time, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I connected with the story.
Sure.
But I'm like, then I read the book. I'm like, he doesn't just write chick flicks. He actually just writes love stories.
Yeah.
And I can respect that.
Yep.
Because even as men, we can understand that. It's not like everyone has been in love, been out of love, the context of relationships. So to give Nicholas Hoult some credit, I'm not going to kill him or Nicholas something. I forget his last name.
Yeah. Sparks?
Yeah, Nicholas Sparks.
Yeah.
You know what she also liked, though? Remember Freaky Friday, the remake? With Lindsay Lohan and the sexy Jamie Lee Curtis, who's still sexy today in her 60s, goddamn.
Yes.
I know a lot of people like that movie. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, here's the thing. If you like it on an entertainment spectrum, no problem.
Yep.
She thought it was a great mother-daughter story.
What?
She thought it was a great mother-daughter story. I'm like, this is probably why your family always hates each other. You guys think this is a great mother-daughter story. Let me explain why it's not. All the mother was trying to do was get her daughters to understand if you wanted to actually be a rock star, you had to understand the perils that come with it as a young woman. But she just wanted to be the rebellious teenage girl and wanted to say fuck her mom all the time. Mm-hmm. Then she actually had to live as her mom to understand what actually being a fucking responsible adult is like. Uh-huh. And all of a sudden, at the end of the movie, she realizes her mother was right. Your mother was always right.
Yeah.
This wasn't a bad mom to begin with. They didn't have a bad relationship. You were just a bitch of a teenager.
Yep.
By the way, there's assholes of boys teenagers as well. Twilight and AEW have this weird ability to believe they are something that they are fucking not.
Yeah.
AEW likes to call itself the big wrestling company.
Mm-hmm.
New Japan has existed for 50-plus years.
Yes. You guys ain't even at 9.
Bitch, you're not even the 7th son of the second father at this point. When you first started, I was with it. Mm-hmm. I was with the whole rebellious thing because
Vince had given you 10 years of dog shit.
And we needed fresh in America.
Yep.
We really did.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth about Vince was when his back's against the wall, he actually does his best shit.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he hasn't been challenged in over 20 years.
Right.
So he's been fucking lazy and kind of awful. Well, those days have been gone. Your guy let the big stars go. Uh-huh. And he's like, Stephanie Myers might write a better Dynamite than Tony Khan.
That's saying something.
And that says a lot. Because she also wrote those fucking 3 Christian... Oh, that was the other one she was telling me about. was the ex-girlfriend that where I almost dumped her because of the Star Wars comment.
Yeah.
The with the dominatrix shit and all that shit. I forget what that's called.
50 Shades?
God damn.
No, 50 Shades was fan fiction of Twilight.
Oh, yes, it is a different writer.
The author of Twilight was Stephanie Meyer,
yes.
as you said. Now, the author of 50 Shades was E.L. James.
Both of these people can go straight to hell.
Both women, yes.
This is trash.
The erotic romance novel was originally written as a Twilight fan fiction before being adopted into its own universe.
Here's the thing, and this is not sexist to say because thank God your wife is a nerd.
She hates all this shit too.
I know she's a nerd, and I love her for it.
Yep.
Star Wars has its issues.
Yeah, it does. There's some,
and we gave
there's some plot holes.
We gave George, the creator, so much shit he sold it.
Yep. For a lot of fucking money.
A lot of money, but he sold it.
He sold it.
He got tired of us fucking ripping him. Even after he was doing museum tours of his home, and people would go into his home and be like, "Yeah, but the prequels, George, why are they so fucking bad?"
I'm in the minority. I don't mind them.
Here's the thing: I gotta tell people, I actually don't mind them. I can rewatch them now.
Yeah, but you also have to remember, if he had made those movies from the get-go, remember, he started with episode 4 because he said no one's gonna like this. I started with episode 1.
Here's the thing: I gotta tell people. The story, because I have the books and all that, because I'm a geek.
Yep.
I have the digital books. But when you read the storyboard of the prequels, it's fucking phenomenal shit.
Yep.
He got lazy directing it. It's that simple.
Yep.
To me, it doesn't even. It's not even bad because it starts with episode 4 and all that. Which, by the way, that was all good. The originals are incredible. He got lazy as a director.
Yep.
You're great. You're great actors, and stunt people are great stunt people, and the cameramen are great. Just go do what you do, guys.
Yeah,
this will all work out.
You've got Jerry Lynn. You've got Dean Malenko. You've got all these fucking people.
Be fine.
Yeah,
this is all gonna work out.
Yeah,
but you have to have the director direct, and in pro wrestling, you have to have, I guess, the booker, the whatever. Oversee and get to these points.
There was a horror movie that came out that Allison watched, and she told me was not anywhere near what people thought it was. It was called Midsummer. It's actually a dog shit movie.
It's not. So the first time I watched it, I was with the rest of the crowd who thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then on the third watching, a lot of its issues became very apparent.
Jesse, the guy who is like the boyfriend that ends up dying and she's crowned the queen, spoiler alert, everyone, he's a dick from the start.
He's a dick bag the whole movie.
There was a movie. I watched this with a friend of mine and her boyfriend at the time. And I came out of it saying, what in the fucking shit did I just watch? It was a horror film.
Yeah.
And it was a movie called Unfriended.
Oh, yeah.
The first 45 minutes of this film is a tutorial on Apple Skype. And the other part about it is in the end, I clapped. Not because it was over, that was part of it, but every single one of these teenagers deserved to die. This is not someone I wanted my children to be friends with. These are not people that my child should associate with. The same problem was with the movie The Gallows. They tried to make Charlie, and by the way, they set themselves up for failure because the preview literally said, the next great horror icon next to Freddy and Jason, Charlie. And I'm like, okay, you put yourself behind the 8 ball from the get-go, but okay.
Yeah.
And Jesse... Then you watch the film. I never actually saw it in theaters. I watched it bootleg. I hate these fucking teenagers. I want you fuckers to die. Because, Jesse, I want to be clear. When you're a parent, you want your children to have good role models in their friends.
Sure.
This is going to be a little bit of a harsh topic, but I'm pretty sure most parents don't want to admit out loud that if they are friends with the parents of another kid and that kid does heroin, they would just like it if their child's friend went away, we'll say. I'm not going to say what they want, but I'm going to say, go away. We'll be nice about it.
Sure.
Jesse, AEW doesn't create characters that I want to see achieve their goals.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want anyone. MJF is the only interesting one, and I'm supposed to hate him.
By the way,
even he's getting bland.
To unfriended, as I told people, I'm like, if you watch that horror film, I guess, and you watch it as the entity is actually the actual victim and heroine of the movie,
yeah,
it actually becomes a lot more enjoyable.
Yes, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Because you're like, no, I hope she kills every fucking single
one.
No.
No. Like I said, I found myself clapping because I realized, they didn't leave any of these bitches alive. They didn't deserve to live.
I did get the jump scare at the end, but I was just like, no, I'm very happy she killed everyone.
Yeah.
Good.
No. Way to go.
You're all terrible fucking people.
You are absolute
including the
shitty
main girl,
human beings.
Crying. Like, but you could have helped your friend and you didn't.
No.
Because you thought it was funny too.
Yeah.
You died too, bitch.
Yeah. No, fuck you. Bye-bye.
I just didn't like seeing it from your POV. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Panned out and I could have watched you die.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Because I'm like, I got the jump scare, but I was mad at it because I was like, bitch, I didn't do anything. Why kill me?
Yeah.
I'm on your side.
Well, Jesse, it's funny. I finally saw a TikTok.
Yeah.
And I realized the rest of the world is finally coming around to why in the hell is there a trope that black people die first in horror movies? Y'all motherfuckers wouldn't be there to begin with. This movie had no black people.
What was the one?
Or maybe it had one.
Yeah, because I saw a dude talking about it, and they were I forget which movie they were talking about. I think it was the shark one.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, you think two niggas on a boat are going to stay on a boat if a shark starts eating you white people? Where is the thing to get the fuck off this boat out of here as soon as possible? You niggas die. We warned you about the shark. You fucking genetically fucked with it. Now it's too big. I'm out. I told you niggas not to do that. So,
Oh, no, hold on. I'd like to edit myself. There's not one black person in the movie. So...
Well, so the shark one had LL Cool J, who did survive.
Yep.
And then Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep.
Here's the thing. I just remember watching that movie and I'm going, no, it's not Deep Blue Sea, but I'm watching that movie and I'm going.
No, it is Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm watching that movie and I'm like, no, LL was right the whole time, his character. What the fuck were y'all doing fucking with this fucking monster's genetics? And now you're wondering why this thing wants to eat you. Y'all deserve to die.
Jesse, just an FYI, they made 2 sequels to that movie.
I never saw those, so I got nothing on it for you there.
Yeah,
the first one really wasn't that good.
No.
But you nailed it on the head.
There's no one in it.
There's not a lot of likable characters.
Jesse,
in AEW.
I hate to say it. I only want to see Mark Briscoe win because I know the years that Mark Briscoe has worked.
Right.
The problem is, Jesse, Mark Briscoe in AEW is a nothing burger.
Here's the biggest thing, right? Like you mentioned characters, and because this is so real. That's why I always say movies to me in pro wrestling have so much correlation.
Yeah.
When I look at the thing they're always saying they're better than, when I go to WWE, and I'm like, well, the issues with the booking isn't some of the characters. That's actually not the problem. I'm like, the problem is the thought that these characters kind of get stifled within their own stories, and we don't move on to get them to the things that we should probably get them to.
Yeah.
Which clearly, and then I watched the show recently now, and then the last pay-per-view, and I go, Triple H is clearly constantly working on it. So while I will always give him heat,
yes,
at least I give him credit for constantly trying to fix the issues they know they have. In AEW, let's bring up Leo Rush. I think it's a great character. I think it's fun.
It's the most interesting thing they're doing.
A very broken Matt Hardy inspired, clearly.
Yeah.
But he's treated like a joke. By the way, he's treated as Danhausen should have been treated in AEW.
Yes.
You got a guy like Orange Cassidy. It's an insanely likable character. He starts doing deeper shit with the character. We do nothing with it, and now we make him a mascot again. Darby Allin's been a character I gave up on after you allowed him to go do 2 other things and actually get hit by a bus and then come back and win the title. And then do the worst story you could have done, which was he's going to run himself ragged defending the title.
Do you remember how even you and LeRoy thought that was kind of a halfway decent story beat? But then after a couple of weeks when you really digested it, you were like, oh, yeah, this was dog shit. This was absolute dog shit.
I got to the point of that because I kept saying, I'm like, you just put the title on this guy. Let it breathe. It's supposed to be one of your more popular characters. Let it breathe.
And the part that bothered me the most was, wait a minute, Darby Allin got tired because he wrestled 6 weeks in a row, but yet he climbed a mountain where the air gets so thin you need oxygen tanks just to fucking take the photo. What?
It's ridiculous storytelling. And also, the man did actually survive getting hit by a bus. So when you now have him in a car during a thing with Gabe Kidd, and you try to act like Gabe Kidd killed him when you scripted it out, and you already know there's safeguards. So he actually survived getting hit by a bus somehow. So like, this is actually now where it gets unbelievable.
I make the comment all the time, and people try to discredit me. He is what Ric Flair thought Mick Foley was.
Now, yeah, he's just a glorified stuntman.
Jesse, I want to analyze this for 2
Mick
seconds.
Foley actually always, and that was the other thing.
Mick Foley has a moment that, by the way, I believe it was yesterday, turned 28 years old. 28 years since the Hell in a Cell.
Wow, yeah.
But Jesse, Mick Foley has moments to fall back on. Mick Foley has moments that are remembered by Jesse. John Cena has more titles than Mick Foley's career combined in any company.
Oh yeah.
John Cena will tell you, I don't have a moment that can live up to the Hell in a Cell moment. I don't have a moment that can live up to Mrs. Foley's baby boy did it. John Cena knows that.
The Rock constantly fucking hitting him in the head with the chair.
Yeah.
Him just standing up and taking it.
Jesse, I want to talk about that.
I started thinking about that for a second, like John Cena's moments. I mean, John's got some really good ones.
But they're not going to be remembered the same way Mick's was. What's Darby Allin going to be remembered for? Not a goddamn thing.
And I'm a wrestling geek, but the biggest thing I will remember Darby Allin for happened in a loss, and that was the moment. And actually, that might have been against Rusev, where he's trying to beat him. He can't. He seems to can't do. He looks at Sting, and Sting looks at him like, "Kid, sometimes it's just not your night. Sometimes we just got to take an L." And then it almost gets to the point where Darby just accepts he's about to lose it, and then he does. Because that was with the TNT Championship, I believe.
Yeah.
And that was, to me, the best moment I've ever seen from him.
Jesse, the problem that people need to understand.
By the way, that had to include Sting.
Yeah. Jesse, by the way, going back to the whole, issues with characters I don't want to see. I don't want to see Darby Allin anymore because, Jesse, this was my biggest problem with this overall pay-per-view. I know how every pay-per-view is going to end. It's a match with a bunch of gimmicky, hardcore spots, and everyone's going to be on Wednesday, looking like a fucking bag of daisies.
So, of course, I was one of the. I think everyone listens to me all the time because, or finds our show and then doesn't subscribe, which everyone should do for free on YouTube and also for Patreon for free.
$1.
Actually, I've actually decided we're gonna.
Are we doing the free tier?
We're gonna do the free tier.
Okay,
so
yeah.
just sign up and get the show early.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/13 cards subject to change.
Join for $1 if you want to support the show.
Correct. Or at any point after joining for free, you can just open up a donation and send a donation. So
yeah.
Okay. It kills me to think about this. Oh shit! What were we just talking about?
Darby Allin.
Yeah. So we do the story. We get there, and you're running him through the whole ringer and all that, and I get to the point where I go, the problem is you don't have MJF doing anything else that makes me think he's not going to come back for this title.
Yep.
Because you got him doing shit with Kevin Knight, who you then turned heel, and now you've done stupid shit with his character, and instead, Instead, I go 3 weeks in even before we get to the collapse, and I go, this is just all going to end with MJF getting the title back.
You were saying that during, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, that's bad booking.
Darby Allin, a day one guy, basically. You built him. He was always on the show. You gave him Sting and a huge program for Sting's retirement, all this. 6 weeks, he becomes a transitional champion?
By the way, that was one of the worst things ever. They didn't need to win the tag titles for Sting to retire. It basically that was the moment that kind of destroyed their tag team division.
Well, Sting told him no too.
Right, like I don't give a fuck what the Young Bucks have to say, but like, guys, then give them up to somebody else before this match, making that a bigger story. That just was a main event. That's fine. Like, even the Bucks being the main event guys for that, I actually still had no problem with.
Yeah,
but I was just like, you killed your own tag division.
Well, but what it also told me was when you get Tony, no mind for the business, Darby, awestruck by Sting, the Bucks, no mind for any business other than their own, and Steve Broden, who never had a mind for the business, he listened. He was the good old boy who listened. Because everyone will tell you in a real conversation, we looked at him and we said, cha-ching. And so we gave him the lights, the camera, the paint, the action, and he made us all rich.
Right.
But that's why, again, when he said, I think the Undertaker match would have been good. Would have been no goddamn reason to have it.
So, I mean, by the time he got to WWE, you would have needed to do that match as immediately as possible.
Yeah.
Because I think the Undertaker had already had one hip
Yep.
done. And yeah, that would have. But the problem was they were so deep into the whole authority feud.
Yep.
And him getting him involved. Well, you couldn't do shit with the Undertaker, who was basically at that point doing stories that either led to SummerSlams.
Well, no.
Manias.
Well, no. At that point, he was doing the Mania match, getting surgery, and then healing up just for the Mania match that was going to happen the next year. Like, unfortunately, Taker's career became match, injury, surgery, rehab, match.
There was also a lot of stuff, like I said, every now and then in between you get SummerSlam.
Yeah. But Jesse, it's just that's my thing. When you talk about believability, when you talk about consistency, yes, was the pay-per-view good? Yes, they're all good. The following Dynamites are shite.
And that's the thing. That's the main thing. Like, you come out some of your best shows ever. I still remember the debuting Daniel Bryan, the debuting Adam Cole.
Which, by the way, was a disservice to Adam Cole because the very first thing you did to Adam Cole's AEW run, you debuted a bigger star.
Right.
And everyone always looks at me and says, you really overanalyze that too much. I'm like, did I? Really?
Because in the first feud you gave Adam Cole.
It ended in a hug, Jesse.
It was fucking Orange Cassidy.
It ended in a hug, everyone.
And you did nothing funny with them ever. You ever did any comedy bits? Nothing.
It ended with a hug.
The
only hug that ever maybe ended a person's career.
I gotta tell people, at least, the one thing I could give the whole like him and Drew thing to start was like Drew was gonna. You knew, especially when Drew came back, like Vince probably wants to make him the guy this time.
Yep.
So when he's feuding with Drew McIntyre, you took him insanely seriously, and to destroy Drew McIntyre in your first night was a pretty awesome thing for them to do. Otherwise, I'm like, his whole NXT run was way better than anything Adam did in AEW. Anything.
Not even a question.
And I did love the stuff with him and MJF, but I always said, I'm like, his NXT career was so much better than anything he was going to get out of Tony.
And obviously, Triple H was going to talk to Vince behind closed doors and say, Vince, this is my Shawn Michaels. Remember Shawn Michaels, the guy that you kept around for whatever reason forever?
A lot of money with Shawn Michaels.
See, Jesse. Okay, first of all, folks, once again, better help will be at the end. Jesse and I just like to ramble. But Jesse, that's the other thing that I think will be the last topic, and then we'll get out of here for everybody. Another night that proves all these numbers we've gone through, all this decline. Jesse, the wrestlers are making money.
Right.
All Elite Wrestling is worth a lot of money. It's not making anything. Yes, billionaires apply for tax credits all the time. Fine, I'll put that little Vegas thing aside. You all can take that as a fucking win or a wash, however you want to see it. Jesse, if you were a successful money-making machine, you wouldn't have to be going into the last 6 months of your television deal with no negotiation.
Right.
Jesse, even if there was a fucking merger happening, the people that still have to run the day-to-day would be giving you money that they can still have to spend. Guys, correct. Jesse said it in the show. This product is not growing. This product is dying a slow death. And you know what? All I've learned about All Elite Wrestling is something that everyone used to tell me about, but I never had an example, and now I do. Money can prolong just about anything if it really wants to.
Just about.
I just, Jesse, you have been a part of so many different projects your entire life.
Yeah.
You have backed out of projects that have done half the failure this place has.
A quarter of the failure.
Yeah. And you've just been like, nope, not happening. Not going to happen.
Because sometimes you just got to. I've always said when it gets to a point when you can tell leadership isn't going to be good, I bounce. I don't even worry about it because it's not worth it.
Jesse, the wrestlers are making money. But you want to know the truth? The wrestlers aren't making money on their merch. The wrestlers aren't making money on ticket sales. There's no bonuses.
Right.
They just make a lot of money because Tony's like, let me give you a livable wage for doing next to nothing.
Right.
It's the generosity of a kid who doesn't need to make a dime because daddy literally has a fund that will never run out of money. Jesse, this is the part that makes me fearful of the next 6 to 8 months. We're about to have LeRoy start this descent into madness, right? As we're going to call it for funsies.
Sure.
But for the love of fucking Pete, we're literally on the clock watching All Elite Wrestling. And I'm sorry, I don't care where they end up when it's over. If you get bounced off of Turner, everyone, Jesse, what bothers me, and I think about this a lot, if they get bounced off Turner, every single sicko is going to use the example of, well, Turner never wanted wrestling.
Right.
So you're going to use the WCW excuse.
Doesn't work for you.
Not the modern excuse
right. No, it doesn't work for them.
Of your cheap programming. If you could bring in $1 for them, they wouldn't fucking bother cutting you. Right. They'd keep you because in this modern day of streaming and near endless amount of content,
right.
Jesse, we just talked about Paul Heyman saying that the only guy that can be the chief content officer of WWE is Paul Levesque. Jesse, Markiplier, PewDiePie to a point before he decided to retire because for his life he made more money than God and didn't need to do it anymore.
Right.
Jesse, Mark Fishbach has gotten to a point that I guarantee you he never thought he'd get to. Jesse, he doesn't need to put out a video on YouTube every day anymore.
Right.
He was doing that when Allison and I started dating 10 years ago.
Right.
And even then he was at 40 million subscribers. Jesse, Markiplier goes away for 2 years to make a movie. He comes back. He posts a video of him doing what he loves, which is video games and content of YouTube. Jesse gets 40 million views in a week.
Yeah, still. He's one of the few who still gets.
He doesn't need to do daily anymore.
Right.
His boys, Bob and Wade, they still have to do daily content because they're not Mark. Jesse, in a world where we need content and there will never be enough content,
right?
They don't want you.
All I know is that AEW's first Dynamite had like 30-something thousand, and last week's had like 7,000.
Oh, for people?
Yeah.
It was 14,000.
Whatever. But
well, remember, they sold out a basketball arena for the first ever Dynamite.
Oh, so wait, the first one was 14,000.
Yeah. The first ever Dynamite was 14,000 people.
And now you're at half.
They're not even at half. They're doing 2,000-person arenas. They're doing fucking community theaters.
Talk about depressing. Like he said at the end, not only will we have our BetterHelp ad, also remember, and I do put the links in Patreon as well. It's just, you don't have to click it if you don't want to, but they are a sponsor of our podcast, so it'll be there. NordVPN. For the first 3 months, you get 76% off. That averages about $4 to $5 a month. Not only is it internet protection, security protections, alerts when you're away from home. You can also include it with your mobile service as well. And sometimes maybe you watch Netflix and you're wondering, how come I cannot watch American Idol on Netflix? Well, with your VPN, you can also change where you are, and all of a sudden you're in Canada watching American Idol as much as you want. So once again, NordVPN, that link will be in the description. Use that code, get 76% off your first 3 months.
Jesse will be making sure that the code is given out as well in these read ads at some point, but we're still working on that. There's a lot of logistics to that, everybody.
Correct.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Once I know, you guys will have it.
Yeah. But anyway, okay, on that note, though, we would like to thank everybody. We will get to NXT Great American Bash next week. Maybe LeRoy comes in, maybe he doesn't. The next 2 weeks or so, he might be taking care of the kids, which, again, is fine here at the show. But Jesse and I will be putting those ads in, and we'll be making sure that NordVPN is up for everybody as well. Thank you all so very much, and we'll be talking to you guys all next week.
Bye-bye.